Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're joining us from. Cosmic here, and welcome back for more Chaos Zero Nightmare. It has just been a crazy week with work and everything else that's been going on. So, yeah, I actually missed it late because I did my video in the morning and just try to get the patch notes out and all that stuff. And then after, when I was on lunch, I did see the updates on Reddit. So there is a post here. And I'm going to have to throw up a disclaimer on the screen and all that stuff first, but it looks like we do actually have a bit of it more information about her kit as well as her various epiphanies. So, yes, some of this is going to be subject to change, but we should at least have enough information here now to understand how we can build her kit out and know what divines that we need for Hilde. So even if these do change slightly, we can at least make some better Hilde builds. So that's going to be the focus for today, but I do need to spend some stamina and all that good stuff first. So we'll clean up my account, all that good stuff really quick, and then we'll dive right in. So Infinite God, welcome on in. Hope your evening is going well. And I guess I will fix the screens really quickly since we're going to be in the actual game here for a hot minute. That said, I don't even know where we left off in our farming. Like, I'm sure I have enough potential mats. Yeah, 335 plus a bunch of blue. Where is Striker? We should have enough partner, should have enough main. I think we're actually pretty good on mats. Now again, we're gonna need more instinct anyways for Olga, but we have at least a good amount. So maybe not totally terrible for that. I guess if there's any other junk here to cycle through. Oops, there he goes. Yeah, good. All right, looks like we did actually have quite a few more memory fragments. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to check. I wanted to check how our Arabella set is coming along. So I do want to, I guess we'll just use Rin as our holder, and then we are going to filter for the newest set. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to show us, like, the right stat and whatnot, but, I mean, we can just read and know what's going to be good for Arabella, right? Okay, I mean, damage over time is not terrible. That should actually be fine. Extra damage, unfortunately, is not really doing anything for us, so this is definitely going to be what we got. Oh, I was probably just keeping anything that had, like, a stat on it. So, again, we're going to want... Ooh. We're ideally going to want crit chance, crit damage, and damage over time. So, I feel like getting all those to line up is going to be a little bit difficult. But there's critical damage, there's damage over time, hopefully a crit chance. I mean, attack is not terrible either. That's three, out of 4 stats, but we'll probably end up needing the... This one's just garbage. We'll probably end up needing the crit chance more if I had to take a guess. You can set your inventory to auto dismantle now. Oh shit. Good to know. I need to update that setting. Nice. How's your memory fragments looking, Tamatsu? Hopefully better than mine are, at least right now. Yee. I mean, this is attack, damage over time, crit chance, right? So critical... Man. Cannot get that last stat. Again, if this is critical damage, that would be at least usable. Nope. And, you know, once she's fully out, we'll go through and see where we're at stat-wise. Don't know why I kept critical damage. This does have damage over time, so potentially save... No. And Void I'm just keeping just in case in the future randomly, because obviously Void damage with critical chance and critical damage is very solid base stats. Again, attack for slot 5, it really just comes down to what better substats you have. So, like, if this rolls crit damage, I'm totally fine with it. But, of course, as we all know, we are not allowed to have nice things. That one's garbage. Oh, ego recovery. No, how could you do this to me? I mean, 2 out of 3 is fine. No, it'll be crit rate and crit damage, and then likely a toss-up with attack and damage over time. The biggest gray area with Arabella's kit right now is that we know Fracture is going to be a main staple of her kit and where a lot of her damage is coming from, but we don't know how much we can really scale that in the bigger picture. So more to come on that end, but unfortunately we are very lacking somehow. Again, we farmed a lot of memory fragments for Hilde too. Like the fact that we just don't have. Ugh. This definitely does not spark joy, as we say. Honestly, I guess I might just go do a little memory fragments just to try. And again, I am just gonna let that go on the auto in the background. They should rework the Agony 2 set to dots and start introducing more distinct dots. I would also love to see that. Now, that 10% is pretty small, all things considered, but it's still better than nothing, right? So I would like to see them update that in some meaningful way. The other news, for those that are like Riftbounders or those that just know about our potential Tokyo Game Show, you know, adventures, my signature Soraka finally got graded, and unfortunately, it got 9.5s across the board, except for corners, I think it was. So the card definitely did not do as well as I was hoping for. However, because of Riftbound being Riftbound and all that stuff just being like way overvalued right now, it should still fetch a pretty penny, and I'll have to decide, see what I can get for a buyer's perspective, and then hopefully reinvest that to a Tokyo Game Show trip to cover more games. Because I also did just see Smilegate has another new game coming out that, believe it or not, is horror themed as well, kind of like CZN, but it's actually based on an anime, I guess, a series that I'm not familiar with. Let me see if I can find that again, because I did see that Moresi was going to be there, and like obviously I'm someone who is interested in Moresi, so whatever new updates they have, I would want to cover that. But I was really surprised to see that is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for health. I want to see what else that they're going to have, and that's where I noticed that they had the other game. So let me see if I can find it again. I guess that was Smilegate Tokyo Game Show. Maybe that'll just pop up. Yeah, here it is. So, and I guess, sorry, I gotta fix both sources now to show it, just in case people are on the vertical stream. Yeah, so there's this dead account 2 Blue Flames. Again, I have never heard about it, but apparently it is a newer game that is coming out. And it is open for pre-register right now. It apparently is some team-based. It almost looks like it is going to be another variation of Tokyo Game Show, because they're, or not Tokyo Game Show, excuse me, CZN, that they're previewing at Tokyo Game Show, because it did mention that there was like team building and roguelike elements, and I'm like, all right, why is it not letting me scroll down? There we go. And then, yeah, there's going to be, like, you know, obviously character summons and all that stuff. But, yeah, I know nothing about this series. But, like, one of the chicks had... Is it up here? Yeah, like, I'm not sure how well this is coming through, but she has, like, some weird something on her hand that, like, turns into, like, some kind of scythe slash tentacle thing. Like... Yeah, so let me know if you guys heard about this series. And then, again, like, this is something that, apparently it's been open a while, but yeah, a roguelike RPG set in the Dead Account universe, where characters' synergies and dynamic variables shape every turn. I tried, again, looking this one up a little bit, and it looks like it is a more popular series, but from what I can tell, Tokyo Game Show is going to be the first actual reveal itself of the game. But again, like, very, you know, stylistically, it looks very similar to Epic 7 / CZN styling. And then, yeah, the whatever, Kodansha, and then Ian Games, I guess, or Ion Games, however you pronounce it. And I don't think they have, like, any active. I'm not even following yet. Yeah, like barely any activity lately. Some nice artwork, though. Could just be an anime cash grab. Yeah, I wanted to. So now I'm hearing conflicting opinions on the My Hero game that came out. So for those that don't know, earlier this week or late last week, I forget now. My Hero just came out with a Vampire Survivors like game, like that same style, and people seem very divided on it. But yeah, apparently this new series is a anime. But again, I was looking through this previously, and I guess I could just spend more time scrolling. I didn't see any other information or like relevant content. Enhance some abilities, power up, like, sure. And again, I know it's probably just because of the series and how it's designed itself, but yeah, some of the what I assume to be like monster designs actually look pretty good too. So we'll see. Again, obviously not a lot of information here, like at all, to talk about yet. It got previewed in March, I believe it was. It's like to go all the way back. The boundary between reality and the virtual worlds collide. And that's it. That's all we got. That little preview. Thank you. That's so very full. I will not spill the coffee on myself. Needs to cool off a minute. All right, there we go. Have I heard about Suikoden Star Leap? Yes, I have. And yes, I'm very upset that it is Japan only right now. I haven't, or Suikoden, or now I'm forgetting how to pronounce it. It's been too long of a day. But yes, I am very, very aware and familiar with Suikoden, and I did see that a lot of people are waiting for it to become a global launch as well. Hey, I mean, at least the game has men, right? I mean, that's something. Now, again, we'll have to see what the future, characters looks like and stuff, but... I mean, yeah, this is certainly something. But I can't, again, I guess it goes all the way back to, I guess, January. Anime was released in winter 2026. The rating kind of bad, though. All right, well... hype killed. No, I mean, I'm still going to be curious about it, but yeah, again, the whole reason why I brought this up again is because the Tokyo Game Show, but notably, there is nothing here for CZN. So, part of that might just be timing. I do find it a little bit weird that there's not even like a pre-anniversary type of thing for Chaos Zero Nightmare, because again, this is mid-September. So I know we'd still be like, what, 6 weeks away from the 1-year anniversary event, but would have liked to seen something. But, and then, yeah, Marussi, whenever that actually, gets more information out there. All right, before we get too lost in the actual stuff, let's see if we got anything else from our artifacts. We have better than that. I will not keep an order one. Marussi is a what is it? It's like semi-real time. There's another popular game that everyone's compared it to combat-wise. I forget now because I hadn't played the other one. But it does have a real-time combat element, but you can pause time to make your moves and stuff like that. So the thing I like about Marussi, though, is that it does have more strategic placement in terms of like the overall grid and battlefield style. So again, I am just someone who really loves more strategy style of games, as you might know, or deck builders. So I do see a area where Moresi might actually have some very interesting combat choices. However, and I believe I mentioned this in the video when I covered it from Anime Expo as well. And it was a tutorial, so, you know, count it for that. A tutorial is just a tutorial, but it really did feel like it was very heavily like ultimate focused, right? Where it's just like, you don't really care what you're doing other than like, yeah, you have some skills that do like random debuffs and whatever, but it really felt like the bulk of your damage, and obviously the ultimates are animated and all that stuff. It really felt like there was a heavy emphasis on just the ultimates. So again, really awkward demo, all things considered, in terms of like just balancing and how I would otherwise try to approach it, because they had to set it for like 25-minute timers, all that stuff. We will wait and see where that lands. All right, they can rage me out for a single reroll. I am personally not building Tenebria this season, so I don't have anything in particular that I would recommend for her. The oh god, it's in the build guide now. I forget which card it is. I will say this season you can actually build Tenebria into her like actual max damage build instead of her Great Rift build, which is nice, but we still have to wait and see, you know, when people might get a real opportunity to use Tenebria again. Why don't I configure to recycle blue memory fragments automatically? Because I gotta figure out how to do that. That's it. I haven't looked into it yet or anything. That is purely I don't know how to do that. And here's the thing though, right? Like that's why I have the build guide document, because the reality is, and I've been very open about this too, like people just don't care about older characters. Like it's very hard to spend time and put a lot of energy into building a character that people aren't going to watch the video for. Now, again, I say that, but I did the last two videos anyways, knowing that those would be failures in the eyes of YouTube and all that stuff. But because of all the conversations around desire cards and personally hoping that they get buffed in the mid-season update, I want to do the desire video anyways, even though I knew it would not perform well. Which again, obviously hurts for things of like potential sponsorships and what have you. But it is what it is. Okay, so how do I actually, I guess it's not in here, it'll be like in storage or something. How do I actually configure this, by the way, then? Sick. I assume it's just that. We had like 6,000 or 8,000 saved up for Hilde, man. God, it kills me to realize how much we've burned on resources. There's probably a lot more junk in here, if I'm being perfectly honest. That is slot 6. 4 has to be crit. Defense on that is not good. These are all just like random ones from like Chaos then. Passion on a Justice Order set never feels good. Health can be fine. Like, sure, I guess. Has anyone completed the complete research collection? No, I have not done any of the challenges either. Yeah, exactly. I think there's definitely a key, you know, part of CZN that's like, hey, I care about my certain character, and like that's it. You know, unless they get like a balance change or something like that. Like, I joked about doing the Yuki video to showcase her 2 new builds with Hilde, but like, okay, it'll maybe get 5,000 tops, like, and that's unfortunately just not good enough. and again, like, I've been very transparent about everything that's been going on and kind of goals of the channel and all that stuff. Would also be really great to get to 10K for the 1-year anniversary, since this is primarily a CZN channel, but I think that's a little bit farther off than I intended. But all of it is really just ways to try to reinvest into the channel to then have more opportunities in the future, so I can do more coverage of like Anime Expo, Tokyo Game Show, all that stuff. Because again, as I was talking to Styx about it, it's just like, if you're going to events, like the main ones that you need to go to are Anime Expo, Gamescom, and Tokyo Game Show. But dude, I spent like $3 grand on the Anime Expo trip, and if I take a Japan trip, okay, spoiler, part of that is also going to be a vacation, because I have not taken a vacation at all this year. And again, reminder, I'm a salary guy, so I'm literally getting bullied by my management to take a vacation because I have not taken vacation. To give you an idea of how bad it is. How bad it is. And we're basically in September at this point. But anyways, I digress a little bit. If I fly all the way to Japan, which again, by the way, flights to Japan are around 1,500 plus or minus, just depending on the season, what have you. And once you're in Japan, it's not really that expensive, all things considered. But if I were to fly to Japan for Tokyo Game Show, you bet damn well I'm going to stay there for a couple extra days to actually enjoy Japan again. But that is a future me potential problem. And not even problem, just like reality of the situation. But if I can sell the Soraka card, that will definitely at least pay for the... That's funny. That'll at least pay for the trip. Is that ever relevant? I guess like HP scaling Void character. This is actually like really good. I don't think that they're ever going to give us an HP character. Who am I kidding? Any tip on a character getting the free selector? I do have Serenial, Haru, and Rin as DPS. That one went up to like Diana, right? I will always put higher stock in supports. So like Typhera or Veronica might be good. Also keep in mind that with the 1-year anniversary coming up, we'll likely get some other either free pulls and or another selector. So what I would recommend doing at this point is just, if you don't need a character for any reason, just hold it, because we'll probably get free pulls in, what, 2 months from now-ish? We'll get more stuff, and it would feel really bad to use a selector now just to get that character, in a short amount of time. Justice, but it's the Instinct set, so that feels bad. That could be fine. I'm deleting that one anyways. It says ego recovery, man. That's never going to be relevant. A lot of junk in here, man. Maybe, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's hard though, right? Because like it very clearly sounds like they're setting us up for Lush to get as our character that everyone's been waiting on, because they did tease that there's going to be a character that's been so requested by the community for the 1-year anniversary, and please look forward to it, etc., etc. So I really don't know who it could be other than Lush, and I almost feel like if there is going to be another seasonal at any point in the 1-year anniversary time frame, they're just going to make whatever the most hype character is the seasonal to get people to pull on it. Yeah, I would love Euphenia, but like I feel like she's lost in the void of it, as it were. What's my thoughts on Hilde? She's basically just a better Veronica. Bro, I would lose my goddamn mind if they actually gave us Judas. There is no way that we would be allowed to eat that good. Your boy can dream, though, for sure. Critical chance, but bad substats. Wrong element on all of these. All right, well, we got a couple extra there. I'll go through the rest later. I guess we were almost done. How are we feeling about Bella? We're going to be actually going over that here shortly. Because I have not looked at her full kit, and I have to add a stupid disclaimer to the screen before we do, so I'm just trying to make sure I get everything else done before I try to dive into her kit and do some theory crafting. No, Lush is the, she's from the church. She's in the main story. The old story. I still have not done the new story, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm still waiting for my boy Merlin, though, to make an appearance. No, CZN does not have a creator server. Yeah, just imagine that Judas got like some, basically like Vi from League of Legends, right? Just big, giant, holy fist that punched the shit out of you. I would be a fan. Did we spend all our stamina and stuff? What are we forgetting? Oh, I need to do sortie still this week sometime, I guess. Oh, right, they gave her the multi-hit. That's what the balancing was. I think we're good. Okay, yeah, let's, all right, I gotta set up. Can I see my stats on Tenebria? Sure. If I still even have her artifact set on. I guess I should check first. Yep. Oh, right, because basic cards, duh. So, yeah, that's what she's at currently. I probably stole some pieces because all of my characters generally float around 60 crit chance and 200% crit damage. Ugh. How is that the best piece I have for that? Okay, we clearly found the problem child of this build. Not a single one of y'all's is passion? Holy shit. Really? Okay, if it's double attack, that's just, like, not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. Sure. Man, it's rough out here. Holy shit. I mean, we can really hope it's going to be based on Foretold Ruins, just to have a, you know, a different season be highlighted, but I am also not going to hold my breath. All right, cool. So I guess let's build this out then. So I got to add my... I'm probably only going to add the text on the main stream. Or I guess we'll just put it down here. Get rid of that. Get this. Okay, cool. So the first things first is we have to... where is my notes? There it is. Build Bella better. Oh, hold on. I totally just missed a word. I just realized in my disclaimer. Where is my text? Oh, hold on. I'm on the wrong path. Cards. There we go. And then I need to put one on the vertical stream just to cover my ass. Oops. I forgot to put all that back. Oh, hold on. Nope, that goes there. Add text. Let's get an outline on this really quickly. Let's change this to a black outline. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. All right, we're going to call that good enough. Whoop. Now I have all my disclaimers in the right place. Great, cool. Do I think Arabella will be a generic attack breakpoint for instinct damage? Generic attack breakpoint. For potential. Elaborate on that for me. Do I think Arabella will out-damage Hidimari or below Hidimari? Okay, well, above just because this entire season is going to be like, they're not comparable, right? Arabella has a AoE build in her own kit that by nature should be able to out-damage anything Hidimari does. But if we're going to talk about the, if we're going to talk about like the single target application, I would have to assume that when we think about Hidimari's 96 hit build and with how broken morale still is, I'd have to imagine that the Selena Hidimari team is still going to out-damage what Arabella can do. Major potential top right. Oh, I haven't read that yet. Like, guys, I have not read anything yet. I've been... To give y'all a heads up, I had to wake up at fucking 6 a.m. this morning because I had to join an early call with Europe because of our developers just being annoying, to say the least. And then I had to work late because one of my coworkers who was leaving our job basically did a no-call, no-show on a customer call today, who apparently hates our guts because once again, we, and the greater we meaning the company, dropped the ball on something that we were trying to build out because they got acquired. Oh, I don't want to give away too much information. Hold, pause. Let's not dox myself. There was an acquisition, and there's a lot of people worried about acquisition in their job, and so we are leaving money on the table because the person who I'm taking over for, who is leaving in a day, did not do her job, basically. And so I got onto a call after I had and you can always tell how busy my day is, by the way, if you see my tweet schedule. And you'll notice there was like a dead ass 7-hour gap where just like I did not have time to breathe today. And I just had like 7 hours of calls back to back, basically. And I jumped on this call and the customer was basically like, hey, you guys suck. And I just like messaged my support duo on the side. I'm like, hey, so I know I'm still coming up to speed on this account, but hey, what the you know, like, it was not good. Not good at all. So it has been a day, to say the least. I am very thankful that tomorrow is Friday. And I only have 2 early morning calls tomorrow, and then the rest of my day is just paperwork stuff I gotta do. Whew. So, sorry, small rant. Do I think I can go and show us every must-have build on the character? Just a quick show for preference. For which character in particular, Crazy? Hey, Blood, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Sorry, quick rant I had to get out of the way. Yeah, dude, no, I really felt like the community meme. Like, it was bad. Like, again, I've been at my job for like 5 years now or whatever. So, like, thankfully, my manager has my back no matter what. So, like, I am thankfully high enough up and professional enough that I know how to rip into people. And don't get me wrong, like, I am not someone who's in a position that's going to tell you the customer's always right, because spoiler, they aren't. And one of the cool parts about my job is that I get to tell the customer when they're wrong and how they're wrong, and basically do not bother us because you're wrong. So I have a lot of the per my last email, like that is a lot of what I get to rip into sometimes, which is can be very cathartic, as you can imagine. Now, for what it's worth, like, she's going into a new position. She used to be, again, I got to be very careful about how much I'm saying, because I don't want to talk about what my actual job is. She is going back to what her old role was before she joined our team, I guess is what I would say. Because she used to be in pre-sales and I'm everything post-sales. So she had decided that she didn't want to be on the post-sales side anymore, which, again, to be fair, if you're on the sales side, you get commissions, you get bonuses, whatever. There's a lot more money that you could be making if you're on the sales side. But that also means that you have things like quotas and all that BS. So I'm on the side of like, hey, I don't have to worry about any of that. I just have to make sure that our customers are happy and all that stuff, and they're using the product, what have you. And if for whatever reason the customer messes up, or customer main contact leaves, they don't use as much of the product, whatever, it's no skin off my back, but sales will get fired. So I have seen too many salespeople quit at this point, or not even quit, get fired or get asked to leave, and then they go find a different company anyway, sort of thing, right? Anyways, corporate life is so cool, man. Yeah, sorry, I try not to. I try not to get on that side of it, as it were, all that much, but whoo. Just starting grab Typhera and Hugo. Does Arabella seem compatible with the pair? No, at least at first glance, it does feel like Arabella is going to want either Hilde or Olga to really bring out the most in her kit. So the one thing I will say is, do keep in mind that I get, guys, a lot of the, there's always a lot of hype around seasonal characters because they go away for a long time and all that stuff. But I do want to be very clear, right? Serenial was a very solid pick because she was good in multiple teams. Obviously works best with Selena. That's neither here nor there. Heidi Mari is another character that was super flexible, had multiple builds, and, felt pretty good overall in her kit. Arabella, it feels bad to ever say skip such a character that has inherent FOMO built in, but I kind of very strongly feel that this is going to be a seasonal that a lot of people should skip, knowing that you likely won't, depending on how long you've been saving, you might not have enough pulls to then get Hilde and or Olga, while also understanding that the 1 year anniversary is right around the corner, which I can almost guarantee is going to have some kind of broken character, right? So, is Arabella going to be strong, right? No matter what, we are going to be seeing an AoE focused encounter where she is going to shine. And as I've memed about in the past, because it's very easy to do funny damage numbers if you do, multiple hits against multiple enemies, it's very easy to amp up your damage. But we then have to wonder, well, okay, how good is her single target damage instead? Now, the one thing I will say is that, on the 30-second look that I've done on her kit, and we're about to go through all this, I promise, it did look like she had a single target build and an AoE build. So it does give her a little bit more, utilization in the greater roster. However, a lot of these cards still focus on Fracture, right? And unfortunately, it just doesn't look like she's going to apply enough herself. So you are really going to want some of that other support, baked into her kit. Okay, so we have her base cards. We have what I assume are, this is her ego skills. Oh, do we not have Oh, I guess there wasn't potentials in this post, was there? Because this is all ego skill stuff, right? Because there's the E3 being the ego skill focused, and then there's the E5. So this is all dupes up here. And I'm assuming that's just the original. Yeah, okay, so that's original text on the left and then the actual dupes on the right. And the last thing I will say, and I have to keep it up on this, or there, wherever I just put it here, I have to put this up. So one of the main reasons why I don't like talking about, even though this was from an official server, apparently, whatever, I don't like talking about leaks because I always have to add a disclaimer of the like, hey, Smilegate doesn't care, but they ask us that if we are at any point supposed to talk or wanting to cover leaks, we're supposed to say, hey, these are not final. You should assume that these are going to change because these are very early in the development process. And spoiler, every dev stream that we've had where we've had an early preview, something has changed in the cards for better or for worse. So do keep that in mind, right? Like Faye got a massive nerf. Let's call it like it is. So there is a chance this could go either way. So here's my obligatory disclaimer for the stream. None of these numbers are final. Everything could change. This is only for theory crafting. I'm even going to do one of these really quick. Pay attention. None of this is final. Everything is subject to change. I am not at all at fault if you will spend divines and they end up being incorrect later. This is purely for entertainment purposes only, per Smilegate's request. So do not clip this. Do not make me come hunt you down and look for you. This is just to help start a conversation and figure out what we might want to build on Hilde. And I said might, not that you should, but a might. Okay. There we go. Got my stupid disclaimers out of the way. Somebody ban that man. No, thanks, Scribe. All right, so let's get all the basic stuff out of the way, I guess, right? So E1, mythic card damage plus 50%. For each type of debuff on the target, the total damage bonus per debuff increases from 15% to 20%. Okay. Oh God, which one is our mythic? It's this one, right? I can't see any of the purple. Yeah, okay, it's this. Yeah, this one, okay. I cannot see the purple on the card. So, okay, you know what? Before I even forget, we're going to take a screenshot. Oh, that is not... This is going to be really ugly to try to do this too, I just realized. Whoop, where is my text? Mythic card to remember. Thanks, Peak. Boop, there we go. At the start of battle, apply 1 fracture amplification to the enemy with the highest HP. When Arabella triggers her own fracture, apply 2 fracture to all enemies. Oh, that's... So what, you go 30, 15, but then it's 17, and then that goes down to, I think they round down probably, so 30, 17, 8, 4. No, 8, 6. 8 goes down to 4, up to 6, down to 3, up to 5. Okay, so it scales better on the lower end then, I guess. Oh, up to 5 times per turn. Sure. At the start of battle, apply 1 fracture amplification. Okay, well, hold on. So we know that fracture amplification is her skill card, which is her only skill card, actually. Shit. This was on Reddit. So again, full disclaimer, I don't know who posted it in the Discord originally, but somebody posted this in the Discord. I had just found it from there, but it's on Reddit. So it's this card, right? Okay, so apply fracture Doesn't Fracture Amp only go on one target? Wasn't that confirmed somewhere else already? So, like, her E2 makes sense if these didn't have Fracture Amp, but every single one of these have Fracture Amplification. So why does that matter? Interesting. But yeah, again, you know, I'm not going to sit here and repeat it every 5 minutes. But again, I have to assume that some of this is going to change, not be final, all that stuff. Okay, well, either way, if we recognize her E2 is this, we probably want to start and figure out which one of these that we ultimately want. Oh, these are all unique as well. Oh, she has a lot of, she has 2 unique cards then? Okay, well, I mean, makes it a little bit easier to copy stuff. Apply 1 Fracture Amplification for each enemy present. Increase own damage dealt by 20%. Okay, so again, good for AoE builds. Absolutely trash for single target. For each type of debuff, increase own damage dealt by 20% for 1 turn, max 120. Okay, so it becomes another Sever Ties. It's basically a free 6 morale. That's very good. It costs 0, which is important, so that means we can either get a draw or AP on it, hopefully, so that should be fine for that. It's a really good ability, actually. Apply 1 Fracture Amp. Apply 2 Fracture and 2 Vulnerable to all enemies. Increase total damage of own attack cards by 50%. Okay, so this is like a vulnerable. Both 1 and 3 here fight for AoE builds. That's kind of weird. And if you're choosing between the 2 of these, you'd obviously take 3. Wait, why would someone ever pick 1? For each enemy present, increase own damage by 120. Like at best, right? Because even in Great Rift, no, there's only 4 targets in Great Rift. Yeah, it's not. So it's in this. This is one of those times where it's not even just like additive versus multiplicative, right? Because you have to keep in mind that something like the first skill is going to care about having it boost to AoE, right? But if I remember correctly, her AoE damage is her higher base value. So that is a case where you want to have the multiplicative buff instead of the additive. So that one just is weird, but also importantly to note that you do get the vulnerable, which is giving you another extra buff on top of that. Or is Great Rift? Okay, sure. 4, I mean, like 4 versus 5 targets is kind of whatever. Oh, shit, thank you. Good catch. 1 is going to boost Fracture, 1 is not. That is very relevant. Since we know that there's going to be a lot of fraction amplification. Thank you. There you go. So, AoE but Fracture, single target. AoE that might matter. Well, what are the other ones? Apply 1 Fracture Amp, increase own damage dealt by 80%. When an ally defeats an enemy, transfer the target's Fracture to a random enemy. I'm assuming if we have a full Fracture team, we don't care about that one because we should have enough Fracture anyways. But that'll be an interesting one to see how much it matters. And then an upgrade, which... the upgrade, I think we would never take either, to be honest, because, again, we should have enough Fracture to begin with. Oh, wait, how much does this... Oh, this doesn't even have a cost on it? Hold on, what the... Skill, unique... This cost is missing. Yeah, so, Oh, wait, 3 has a cost on it, I guess, right? I will say for the each type of debuff, this has actually been pretty easy if you have things like Gilded Nest. So I think I'm actually going to give the benefit here to the each type of debuff one, because that's also going to work very well with Hilde and what she already has access to. And it also gives us a really good divine target. So I'm going to assume that we're going to do something with this. Because again, keep in mind, oh, I don't have it as a screenshot anywhere, do I? Don't forget, we also got that really good armor this season, as well as the mythic version that is going to give us more debuffs. I don't have it. Okay, whatever. I will find that later. Really unfortunate how they frame this to make it a little bit awkward for trying to piece it together. Okay, let's go back to her ego manifestations. E3 is ego skill. Personally, I just never care. Like, cool, man, it deals more damage. Whatever. Yippee. E4. When Arabella applies or triggers her own fracture, gain 1 stack of dismantle analysis. Increases total fracture dot damage by 5%, stacks up to 8 times. So, I mean, there's not a lot of ways to boost dot damage, like, you know, in terms of, like, actual debuffs and all that stuff to put on the enemy. So, any extra source that you can get is welcomed here, I guess. And then, obviously, 5 is all the bake, and then, or all the basics getting buffed. E6, when Arabella triggers her own fracture, apply 1 additional stack of fracture to targets under fracture amp. Arabella's crit damage against targets under fracture amp, 50. Okay. So you get 2 fracture up here, and then you get additional fracture here. Again, I'm not one for E6ing, and I don't know. I might be overvaluing it personally, but I personally think that Heidi Mari's E6 is just better, right? I would personally rather have the universal damage amp than just saying, hey, E6 is getting a nice 50% crit damage, which again, more damage is good. I'm not going to say it's not, but if I'm going for, like, if I'm someone who's really excited about E6, I feel like I'd be kind of, well, you know, like, just okay with this one. Yeah, E4 definitely seems like, you know, I feel good about it sort of thing. Does Fracture have a stack limit? Yes, it does have a stack limit of 30. And I mean, I guess you're only getting 10 fracture total, but like, obviously it'll be really good for the Great Rift. It's just kind of awkward. Like, I hope Instinct, or I guess, never mind. I was gonna say Instinct being multi-target, but then I forgot about Serennial again. Free my girl Serennial, man. This is obviously very heavily more leaning towards Arabella being AoE focused over single target. Also, right, yeah, that as we think about the Omega Codexes and we think about the value that we get from that free item, as I always tell everybody, save your Omega Codexes, keep it for the E2 seasonal character, because usually it'll be pretty good. I think this is, again, it's fine. Personally, I'm going to say that Heidi Mari's E2 is even better. Man, I don't want to just keep sounding like a doomer, man, but I don't know how I feel about this season. Because Heidi Mari was just that girl, right? Like, thinking about the damage that you're getting out of E2 Heidi Mari's skill versus a Fracture. Now, again, I guess the whole point is, okay, well, if you're getting 10 Fracture across 5 enemies, that's 50 Fracture. Oh my god, that's so crazy. It's probably going to be really good in Sortie too. I get it. But, like, okay, majority of situations, you're probably looking at, like, 3 enemies. And if there are 5 enemies, you don't need the extra Fracture damage anyways. I don't know. And again, disclaimer here. I'm just going to keep pointing to it whenever I need to. I kind of hope this gets buffed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but overall, I want to see her ego skills buffed. I think that would be, I think that's my... So this is kind of the other reason why I hate leaks, or again, this is apparently from the CN server, whatever, is that it can kill a lot of hype for a character like this one. Now, again, I think there's a lot of people who are going to be happy with her animations anyways. I think Fracture is still going to do dummy thick damage before anyone tries to misquote me like people love to do every season. But again, kind of, you know, first impressions with overall ego skill analysis is just very, very okay. But again, for me personally, as someone who's just going to E2 her off the ego skill stuff, this doesn't really impact me personally. I care more about their E0 performance anyway. So we got her mythic card, which of course we can't divine or anything. We have our skill Fracture, so we're just going to take like the generic damage up one, which seems very, very fine, I guess. Nothing to really write home about. I guess we'll just do the top left and just kind of go in order. I can't even tell what rarity the cards are, man. Is that gold? No, these all look gold, actually. Okay, yeah, who cares? Okay, so we have a one cost. Okay, so a lot of one cost across the board. Two cost. So that might be interesting. All right, so attack lead deals 40 damage to all enemies and applies 2 fractures. Applies 4 fracture to the enemy with the highest HP. Okay, so, right. This is a card that basically saved her from being, like, not being totally screwed out of having her own fracture ability. Okay, wait, so this is, the first one's AoE, the second one's AoE, damage to all enemies, all AoE. Okay, never mind. All of this is AoE, so what do we got from there? So 6 fracture to the highest HP. Another damage amp, but only for attack cards. For every type of debuff the target has, apply 1 fracture. So this one is 7 fracture, assuming that you sequence it properly. That probably is going to be the winner. 6% damage to all enemies and apply 3 fracture. Draw 2 of your own cards. So, okay, like, if you don't have enough draw, this is really good. But if you have draw, this is, like, the worst one out of all 5 now. Or I guess, what's the last one? 6% damage to all enemies applies 2 fracture, 4 agony, and 2 scorched. Man, I'm so glad we have Scorch getting shield. Again, type of debuffs here do matter for sequencing, but otherwise kind of meh. And we don't have the attack cost for this one. I'm assuming that these all cost 1 across the board. Oh, that's what I forgot to do my chaos delegations, y'all. That's what we were supposed to do before this. Brother, you might have missed my rant, but I've had too long of a day. If you're just gonna shitpost about the balancing stuff, you can just get muted. I don't care. Your choice, brother. For this one, I definitely think we're leaning towards card 3 here, though. Because, again, we know the most important thing is going to be stacking Fracture. It's 3 or 4 for sure. I am just going to grab both of these. I think you build 4 if you don't have a fully optimized team. But 3 seems like it's going to be the winner. Yeah, 2 is an interesting one as well. I just don't know if 2 stacks with, what was the other one? Wasn't there another amp? Yeah, I just don't know if it stacks, because this is what? Increased damage of own attack cards. This one was, yeah, I don't know if this card 2 and this card 3 stack. Did we say card 3 for the other one? Wait, which one was this again? Fracture type of debuff. Or no, we did card 2 for this one. Man, this is why I wish I had better images for all this shit. I guess... Man, it just sucks because, right, we know that Hilde's only going to have, like, 15 fracture, man. Like, I already foresee that if we're trying to go all in on her fracture stuff and treat her like an actual damage-dealing character, we're going to need to give her a shit ton of fracture. I will... Ugh. Yeah, I think this one's a lot harder to synthesize, to be honest. The card info is posted on Reddit. But again, I'm putting my my disclaimer is already on screen, so I will leave it at that. We'll just grab one of these. This is probably going to be AP. Or I guess we don't know what her main copy card is going to be yet. Hold on. We got to figure that out before we even bother assigning divines. Don't sleep on card 5. Working with the bottom right, card 1. We ain't even there yet. Oh, this is only a maximum of 3 additional hits, y'all. You like... Ionization, morale down, fortitude down. Like, you have maximum debuffs before any of her cards are relevant. So, like, you do not need help activating, whatever this card is called. You do not need any help whatsoever turning this online. And yeah, I agree. Some of these are definitely, like, they fixed her kit to, you know, not have to worry about Hilde or Olga. Oops, what did I miss a ping on? Oh, the Riftbound FAQ just went live. Yippee. Okay, I will read that later because that is actually a lot of ruling updates. Okay, sorry. Let me click back, make sure all my stuff is on the right screens. Cool. Okay, so... Yeah, I mean, this is unique, right? So we can't copy this one anyways. This is already very clearly just not a copy target for us. And then that leaves basically just these two. God, she does love her attack cards, though, right? 6% damage to all enemies, apply 3 fracture. Oh, this is the whole AoE versus single target, right? Okay, yeah. So, this is our build consideration. So, I guess we already kind of figured that out. So, we have... God, I wish I could put these somewhere to be not awkward. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then, this is ugly, man. This text box is too damn long. Okay, so right, what we know so far is that, like, these are going to be our staples. No matter what, these are like, hey, you don't copy these. These are just like the extra cards in the build, whatever. Where is that again? Her desire card should absolutely be Sever Ties. However, we do not know if the survival claim slop is going to be better or if she will actually want to have Inquiry. So that is a to-be-tested thing, unfortunately. And the honest answer is, if you just don't want to think about it, just run 5 survival and you're fine. Like, that's... Unfortunately, that is the easy answer. If you're at all concerned about, hey, what do I build for this season? How do I, you know, what desire card should I be looking for? Just build 5 survival. It'll save you and be correct 99 times out of 100, sadly. Okay, so we have 3 fracture, and then triggers. Oh, trigger allies fracture, not 60 damage to all enemies, apply 3 fracture and trigger fracture, and then trigger fracture again. Ooh. Damn, triggering fracture twice is definitely quite strong. Damage all enemies, 2 fracture, trigger own fracture on all enemies, maximum 1 stack. Wait, why? 60 damage to all enemies, apply 3 fracture, trigger your own fracture, and then if so, trigger own fracture again. But the other one says all enemies. I guess whichever one you maybe targeted with the AoE. I do not know how that I do not know how that works. 60% damage to all enemies, apply to fracture and 4 agony. Trigger allies Bro, they are debating the shit out of me with Olga with this shit right here. I just know it. They are trying to debate me with Olga. I can feel it from here. Removes all fracture from hit enemies, including allies. Then apply fracture to targets with fracture amplification equal to 2 times. Remove all fracture from hit enemies. Oh, this one's not AoE. Wait, is this one not AoE then? It would be so weird if all 4 of these, like these first 4 were all AoE, then this last one's not. Dude, okay, where's my phone? Okay, yep. Hold on. Let me... That card reads so ungodly busted, brother. There's no way. I am just gonna try to grab an extra translate off my phone just for the sake of it. Deals 100 damage to all enemies. Remove ally restrictions. For each stack remove, grant the target a restriction equal to twice the amount. God damn, that's disgusting. Holy shit. How is that at all balanced with the other ones? Dude, there's no... Okay, what am I missing? There's no way that's even remotely balanced with the others. Because it has... So it has a higher base damage. Oh, this one's 360, I guess. No, but this one's also AoE. 60, 60, 360, 60, 100. Because, like, we all know that the Fracture amp is going to give us more damage than the 260 here. Like, the 260 difference, right? Full stack of Fracture is going to outscale card 3. Which also has cost 2, so... Bleh. Oh, what divines are on... Hold on. What divines are on 1 cost versus 2 cost, I guess? Where is... Oh, wait, I'm on... Hold on. Why am I blanking, bro? Hugo. Sure, Hugo. Where's Quick Fix? Yeah, I guess you could just make it free. Oh, Jesus Christ. And you can give it vulnerable. Oh, my fucking God. Oh, wait. Right, because Fracture Amp can only be on 1 character, right? There you go. There, I figured it out. Fracture Amp can only be on 1 character, so it would only target the boss anyways. But like, you're gonna kill ads, right? You only care about your fracture going back on the boss, so you can do as no. That still doesn't make sense, man. Like, you don't care that the ads won't have their fracture back. I am so lost why this is not just... Okay, yeah, man. Yeah, there's no... And I'm just gonna put this here as is. No way this goes live as is. Expecting a nerf of some sort. The card itself doesn't proc... Oh, wait, do the others all say proc fracture instead of remove? Oops, wrong one. Because I was thinking it's like agony, right? Where you decrease and it pops off, but... Oh, okay. The other ones do actually say trigger. Okay. Thank you for the sanity check on that one. I'm like, there's got to be something I'm missing. There's no way. Never mind. That's way worse then. Didn't the translation say trigger? Nope, never mind. It also says removed. Okay, so crisis averted. Thank you. Thank you for the sanity check. Clearly I need more of this coffee. Yeah, trigger allies fracture versus trigger own fracture. Both of those suck, man. Because how much fracture are we getting, like, realistically again, right? Not a lot. Like, we accept that Hilde is going to be our build-up. Because, again, keep in mind, every time you trigger fracture, it's going to go down by half. And I guess I kind of just assumed that fracture would be one stack and not be split out by agony, but now this is also leading me to believe that fracture will be split out as well. Man, this is, I guess this is just very straightforward then, like, you know, you have a premium team versus you don't have a premium team. Yeah, right. So you would have to do like one copy of card 5 and then do all of them in like card 2 or something. The problem is you're also then you might accidentally kill the ads before you actually get to move their fractures. Is the other awkward part, right? Because keep in mind, Hilde does really good damage with her AoE build anyways. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're kind of just stuck here then. This is just a straight up who is on your team. Okay, so oh, I guess that sucks because then it's also So it's, do you have premium team or not? And do you want AoE or single target? I guess. I don't know. I'll think about how we're gonna organize this. All right, last card. So one other attack, 100% damage for each debuff type on the target, increase the number of hits by 1. Again, welcome back, morale slop. It's going to be really good with Cassius. It is what it is. Wait, so is this a 100 by... Oh, wait, no. So this is... It says additional hits, so it'd be 1 plus 3. Okay, so they're both 4 hits, but then this one says trigger own fracture twice, and then draw one of your own card. I mean, look, cool that she has draw baked into her kit, I guess. And once again, trigger allies fractures is kind of interesting. 240% damage, trigger own fracture. Move this card to your hand, maximum of 2 times per turn. Okay, again, so like, here's the thing, right? Like, if we think about... Let me get a different sized. Or I guess let me put it in this top left corner so y'all can actually see it. Fracture triggers. Right, so we assume if we start at 30 and then she gets... Or no, that was her dupe, so the dupe doesn't even count, right? So we're just going to assume that this counts down each time. Or I guess it would be 14. Right? We didn't round down. Yeah, I assume it's just going to round down each time. Oh my god. Like, these last 2 triggers just kind of suck, if we're being frank. Like, as a lot of people have probably seen from our Hilde videos, like, even 15 fracture is not really good. Oh, man. So, and the reason why I bring this up, right? Like, triggering a bunch of fracture is not super helpful. So you probably want to do, like, 1 copy of pop your allies fractures, and then another one of, like, pop your own fractures. All right, let's read the rest of these really quick. 240% damage and triggers own fracture. Move this card to your hand. Right, that's what we just said. Probably not good enough because, again, you don't want to just loop that a bunch of times. I'm trying to find what our main copy target is going to be. 40 damage to a random enemy. Each time damage is dealt, apply 4 fracture. This cost card is reduced, increase the number... If this card's cost is reduced, increase the number of hits by 1. Okay, so you put a divine on it. So, like, it is a double hit that does apply fracture. Like, cool. 60% damage and triggers own fracture 2 times. Each time own fracture was triggered this turn, increase the number of hits by 1. Oh, I guess, okay, so hold on. You would have to ramp this up, though, right? You're not going to get 6 times 5 right away. So it would be like a... Because what? It would be 1 hit. It would be... The next one is going to be a double trigger, so it's going to be 3 hits. So from the 3rd one on, you're hitting 5, right? So it would be 10, 13. It would be a 14. A 14 hit card in 4 divines. Uh, 4, 8, 12. Or no, because the first one's just a 16 hit 100 base, right? Which is better. I guess you're not getting the fracture trigger then. Man. So, again, I think the biggest point here is that we're going to have Hilde. Hilde is going to have all of her fracture cycling anyways. So we don't mind consuming our allies as like the main focus of it, but yeah, it's kind of a little bit awkward otherwise. No leaks on the partner, unfortunately. Which of these epiphanies are Olga hints? Well, anything that says partner's fracture, right, is going to be an Olga hint and or agony hint. Or agony being a hint for Olga herself. But the issue is we have to remember that no matter what, again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? Because we did not get to keep the nerfs on this season, and because Cassius is still Cassius, unfortunately, we are always going to see card effects like the first or second card here that are going to outscale everything else, because as we've seen time and time again, anytime that we're able to bake in extra hits into a kit and then have somebody like Cassius who can just bring the maximum amount of morale to the table himself, which is now further boosted by Rangers having Ionization and Hilde, or just the overall driven hunt for non-Hilde teams, it is kind of just like, man, it's a dangerous thing to say before we get like final numbers, but it's almost to say ignore her entire kit, just take whatever hits the most amount of times and run Cassius and just let that be your build. Like, that's kind of unfortunately like my 10,000 foot view take of this build so far. Now, again, I'm just going to point here, wherever it's at. For the positives, I will say, I am happy that it at least looks like she is a self-sustained character. She can apply fracture, which is nice. It does look like she's going to have a reasonable amount of damage, right, from the multi-hit applications. And there are some stuff here that would suggest that she's going to work well with Olga, which is also nice. Yes, I'm just ignoring the +1 fracture because the reality is only your first 2 fracture hits are going to be reasonable. And then it's just, what's a nicer way to put it? You're just not doing a lot of damage, unfortunately, with fracture. We've tried to ramp it up a couple different ways with Hilde and with her build, but fracture itself just needs a bit of help. So you get like 2 really good triggers off of it, and then you go, okay, well, now we're kind of just sad. So I think there's also something that, I want to make a further clarification here, is that there is a point to be made here about how she's going to interact in the Great Rift exclusively and how that's going to change her build versus how Arabella is going to work in like more generic, wider content out there, right? We saw this same issue with Tenebria where she had you have to build her a certain way for the Great Rift, but you did significantly less damage. And I do, like, again, 30-second impressions. I think we're going to see that same exact trend here again with Arabella, where, like, you're intentionally making a bad build just to score higher in the Great Rift. So that does feel a little bit awkward, but we'll have to wait and see when the full gimmick is out and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's just making sure you can cycle your fracture enough for these other ones. But, again, kind of the awkward part of, again, at base value, like, it's so hard, right? Because anytime I see this, there's the sequencing part is awkward, right? Because this 60 times 4, what this really says is that you want to play every other card in your deck before you actually cast this for maximum damage. So the draw doesn't really matter, because by the time that you want to actually do your damage combos, you have probably gone through your entire deck draw-wise, that all of these are already in your hand. So the draw one card, unfortunately, isn't really doing a lot. But there are some turns where it is going to be a nice like consistency piece where you sacrifice a little bit of damage and maybe try to draw into one of our other cards that will then apply like the fracture amp you're missing or whatever it is, right? Some other part of her kit. But with enough drawing and whatnot, you just want to pick probably the first one. So again, kind of stuck on this fourth one. Reads weird to me because, you know, again, it will apply a lot of fracture, which is cool, I guess, but we'll see. But yeah, at least for me right now, I think I'm very set on her first card here. Now again, this is you know, trigger allies fractures, which will be good for Hilde at least, but this is kind of just generic morale slop the character. Now, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to, like, you know, have a lot of people go bug him about it, but I'm just going to say I agree with his take. But this is really starting to feel like a seasonal Yuki situation where it's like you have a lot of these pieces that, you know, might sound good, but at least a lot of the damage early on feels a bit lackluster. So, yeah, very curious to see where this lands. I guess the cool thing is, right, is like you're going to have, if you copy this one, you'll have one of this one, which still allows you to trigger your own fracture as casting it once if you pick card 2. So, all right, man. Yeah, it feels weird to call it a dot season, right? Where like so much of our kit is about just triggering it within the turn and just, you know, maximizing your stacks versus having things like the Agony that was like, oh, this really cool end of turn, see a billion numbers go off, make, you know, make neurons activate sort of thing. So, very curious to see where this is going to land. Yeah, I think I can agree with that also. Like, I'm very curious, the Olga, you know, balance of all of this. Now, again, you know, I've given the disclaimer as well, like in the past when we've talked about like Hilde's kit, is that there is something to be said about this being, you know, early on for this mechanic. So it is something that will likely get more fleshed out in the future. And it is a bit unfortunate that we just had to cram it all into one season, but you know, here we are with it, so to say. Let me just swap out my beverages, but well, OG Agony was also, yeah. Season 1 was a build of all time, right? So I guess the next question that we want to answer is, what type of divines are we really doing then? Because we just assume that this will be our main one. So she's going to need 3 AP in a turn. Oh, I guess that works out, because didn't we say our Hilde build was, or our Cassius build said 3, or no, I'm thinking of the Cassius Mika. 3 AP is kind of a lot, if I'm being honest. Strikers don't have an AP card, right? Fracture does scale with morale, or it should. I thought we already tested that. Or was that 0 in that proct? I guess I'd have to test it again, actually. I don't remember. I don't think we got a good shield. No, okay, we definitely don't yeah, we have nothing that gives us an extra AP, I guess. What would be a good neutral if we wanted one? Well, there's our AP, but exhaust, so that doesn't really help. What monster cards even drop in this, can I search for, like, just which monsters are in here? Cost, attribute, ownership. Combatant. Okay, no, I guess we can't. I'm like, man, is there, like, a random monster card we could try to hunt for? But I guess not. I missed it? Oh, is there a drop down for just the chaos? Like, I know there's one for all monster tags, but because, like, I'm just trying to again, we're kind of getting into the cope territory now, but I'm just trying to remember what else is in there if it's going to be anything relevant. Although, again, keep in mind, monster cards are pretty expensive for the majority of builds you might want to consider. But, like, if we're just using Haru as an example of going through this, and not great. So, what this means, though, is that, as I kind of hinted at with the, not the, I guess, 2 Hilde builds ago, right? One of the things that we're going to very strongly want to consider now for most people is getting the neutral card to have our AP, right? So quick shelling is a very nice way to get 1 extra AP into your character's, where is Mark, I guess? I guess you could get Agony, which counts as a debuff. Sure, whatever. Let's just say Agony. Where is it? There we go. Right? So, anyways, quick shelling is something that I would strongly recommend you consider or look into if you need AP for your build. Now, again, do keep in mind there is an accessory that does drop from this season that is going to give you 1 extra AP because we're going to have a lot of ads in the Great Rift. So that's another way to get some of those action points back that you're going to need. But if you are trying to generate a little bit of extra AP for anything outside of the Great Rift, then you could also consider quick shelling. So the thing I'm worried about for the ads in particular is I think they're going to die too fast to Hilde's just like AoE damage style of thing. Spirit Key Fox can get... Yo, remember when Key Fox was absolutely insane of a unit? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay, well, the good news is we know that Fracture is correct. I feel like any of these can be used to be or well, I guess not any, because obviously we don't want to use this one, but like there's so many good options here now that because we're gonna have so many hits, like literally any of these should work for capping out on our ability or our zero in. When Cappy tested if morale scaled fracture, it didn't work. Oh my god. We'll if someone reminds me after I do my chaos delegations, if we have time, we'll go test that. But we will definitely do more testing around that soon-ish. What else am I forgetting? Oh, right, because this didn't have a good... Oh, right, yeah, you can actually... I forgot. We have just the straight-up draw, but I think we need the cost reduction, if I remember correctly. Now they fix this. And that leaves us with 160, which means we just kind of YOLO on one of these to be a cost decrease. So she's only at a 1... because this is going to consume this. So we're at a 1 AP cost for the build. Okay, so Hilde is 1 cost. Cassius, we don't really have to cast his card, so he's 0. And then Arabella was 3, right? So we're at like 4 AP total. Because this gets reduced. And then, yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So 3 AP just to, Oh, I don't know if I just rolled my eyelid weird or something or what, but that was not a good sensation. Felt, yeah, we're fine. My vision's fine. I rubbed my eye and like I felt like the eyelid like slip, it like fold and slip on itself or something. It was squishy and slippery and unpleasant there for a second. Anywho, so what did I say? 3 AP, right? So 3 AP cost. Oh god, I forgot about Sever. Thank you. Sever, Driven, and all that stuff, so... Well, Cthulhu Orb only works for the first turn, right? So we're going to cheese this a little bit because we want... Nope. Equipment... Because, in theory, this should cheat us a couple extra points of AP each turn. Or I guess, what's the other accessory? No, because Arabella's going to want the other one, right? She's going to want the actual damage. Where is it? Just to give her a crit chance, so it'd be something like this. Oh, gosh, I literally just said I forgot the desire card. I guess let me see if I can fit this all on a... There we go. And then once I have this all listed out, we'll actually see how much AP we're at, because I am someone who has to see this all visually to actually count and figure out our AP math. But again, I am just freely assuming that Cassius, Hilde, and Arabella will be like the meta combo until we get Olga. Which again, in theory, Olga should be able to help with the AP issue. And also keep in mind, we don't actually need to cast this, so this isn't like, it shouldn't be something that we care about, but maybe we need the shield, who knows? Well, the trinket itself should stack, so if you have 2 of them, it should be +2 AP in a turn. Oh, for the love of God. I have built this too many times. I'm going to be lazy, by the way. I know I've gone back and forth. Oop, wrong one. There we go. I'm going to be lazy. I'm just using his upgrade instead. I know it's not like the Giga Optimal version, but, you know, sue me, you know, sort of thing. What am I forgetting? Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting the upgrade. It's like at the bottom, I think. It's in a weird spot. Yeah, there you go. Instinct Resonance. Okay, that's everything for Cassius. Oh, right, because we cut Joker, obviously. We don't need Joker. I guess I'll scoot this all up a little bit more really quickly. I guess this one's pending, right? We don't actually know if that's right. Obviously, we want this on Cassius. That one feels very locked in. And then, so we want to go back here. So it's going to be like, trigger allies fractures. Well, the ads are going to die to Hilde, right? Or they should. Because isn't it the killing the ads removes the buffs? Again, I'm putting a lot of value into Fracture. Fracture plus Vortex Arrow is very strong with Cassius fully buffed up. Otherwise, we just, like, slot in Nia, right? And everyone rejoices that we have Nia again for another great rift. And everyone... Blech. Mythic. I guess there's no clean way to do this. Oh my god, I keep trying to Alt-Tab. It's not there. So, that's normal. That's normal. We need Sever Ties before I forget. Now that we can actually use this card. And whatever, it's blue, sue me, you know? Or Leia, just for the sustain? Yeah, I guess that's like the other question is like, how much are we support that way are we going to need just in terms of survivability? It's so hard because obviously I can't read this and I'm trying to like look at the artwork. Because we're missing a card. We're missing the 0. The other thing we have to worry about, right, is that we actually might care about Bella's draws at some point because as it is right now, we are using every card in her deck. She does have a shit ton of damage amp, I will say, just from like all the random stuff that she has. And we said there was no upgrade, right? That I'm forgetting about. That would be worth, like, potentially over this. I can't assume there is because she's going to be our main damage dealer, but you never know. And then, because this one was not... Yeah. I'm still going to put my trust in Hilde is going to do enough AoE, and then Arabella is on, like, cleanup duty. That is going to be my cope. And I'm just going to do this because I'm lazy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to ignore this for now. Yeah, this is all 0 because he's neutral. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't care about this. 5, 6, 7. This is only... So we need a +4? Well, that's not happening. Like, even if we do double essence fragmented necklace, right? That's only a +3. Because we want to always make sure that we're using Severed Ties, and we always want to make sure that we're using Driven Hunt for the most amount of damage. Listen, man, I am doing my best to count. Doesn't she have a different draw card reduce one? This like can save us AP. It's just not consistent, unfortunately. We could also just try to go for like the YOLO draw, but then we have to lose one of the other divines. Or no, this one already has a divine on it, I guess. Is it proven that necklace stacks? Technically no, but it has the same wording as some stuff in season 3 that did stack, so I am holding out hope. But again, either way, the main goal of this should be is to find a way to not have to care about these accessories. This is technically like really bad deck building, but this is like, we know that we're going into the Great Rift with this team, so I'm just trying to piece it together. Sounds like Narja is needed. I mean, we'll do a lot less damage if we do. I mean, I guess the point here is that we can always just get rid of Vortex Arrow, but I still think that we're going to need that AoE damage from it. I guess if we don't need the draw, right, we can shave an AP off Plasma Rain by using the Ignition one. I mean, yeah, and then the free fracture is kind of silly. How does only draws attack cards? I mean, I guess it does draw quick shelling, right? This. Oh wait, we lose ionization then, though. And we need to keep ionization because of the debuff. So I think we do it this way then to keep this 0. And then she's at -1 AP. Man, I don't know how important Vortex Arrow is going to be. That's kind of the that's kind of the awkward part. Yeah, I think we just have to swap that one, actually. Because now, technically, if we swap this and we assume that necklace stacks the way that we want it to, this is actually finished build for all of this. And, like, you know, will work, has enough AP, yada, 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 yada. I do not love it. I'll say that much. There we go. This still feels a little awkward. Do survival cards only appear in Kaleidoscope? You can get other survival cards if you are going through other chaoses and you select the buff for it. However, you cannot get survival cards unless you do Kaleidoscope. So unfortunately, the best desire buff in the game is locked behind Kaleidoscope, so you should just run Kaleidoscope on every character. Is kind of the unfortunate truth of it. Gundam tweet. Oh yeah, I was super excited to get my Inuyasha boxes, but it sounds like I probably will not be getting those, unfortunately. Womp womp. Yeah, unfortunately, like, man, I don't know. This, like, again, I'm just gonna, you know, point to the sign, but her kit is just, like, a lot of work that does not feel like it's gonna have a lot of good payoff. Man, all right, held up. Listen. Where's the post? Look how sick this looks, though, man. Like, this is a nice-ass looking card. And, like, the red signature on it as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful card. Do ignition only per turn when the card is exhausted? No, it is a, it resets each turn. At least I'm pretty sure it resets each turn. But again, all of your arrows are going to exhaust. So, like, the cost reduction's not an issue in the build. If you're partnering up, Arabella isn't Game Ranger with harmful effects better to max out Zero In faster? Zero In doesn't trigger till the end of turn, so it doesn't matter. You might be technically correct, but the interesting part about Big Game Ranger is that, like, all of them can get to 60 sacks. It's a really unique epiphany that just kind of doesn't care about itself. It's just like, hey, whatever team you're on, build for that, and then you will get 60 stacks by the end of the turn. Like, it's very hard to have a finished build and not get 60 stacks with Big Game Ranger. But yeah, so I don't like this. So that brings a question of, and I guess this means we gotta start a new tab. Morale slop. I mean, I guess let's call the issue like it is, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, her unique is so hit or miss for the content. So, like, obviously you cut this card in her single target build, right? Like, this is just very whatever otherwise. Like, if we drop this, Like, obviously, we're never dropping this because of Great Rift, but, like, her build becomes a lot better if we just trash her mythic card. Just tested the AP necklaces on all 3 units and 100% works for each. Awesome. Thank you. Like I said, I had not personally had a chance to test it. I just know this is like one of the things that came up in season 3, and I do not remember which item it was. And it did work, so good to see that kind of logic held up here. Okay, so the next question is, what about solo Bella? Oh, wait, I gotta go back to the... Okay, hold on, I have to go back to this. Okay, so if we are going solo, we probably have to put a lot higher focus on everything AoE, right? Because we have to kill the ads and as fast as possible. Trigger own fracture. 60 damage to all enemies. Apply 3 fracture and trigger own fracture. I just hate 2-cost cards, man. I mean, I guess it just has to be the 3 hit everybody, 3 fracture, trigger your own fracture, because again, we want to have allies. So, sure, I guess it's gonna be the second one. Let me grab the text. The question is, how are we getting enough fracture on everybody then? Like, I guess this is gonna, because we get the +1 from fracture amp, right? So, like, this will get 4 instead because she has the amplification effect. That's just not a lot, though. That's not a lot of damage. Applies 4 fracture. No. What was 3 fracture crystal? So again, this does not stack, so that's gonna be pretty awkward. Okay, we get 7 fracture off of this card, right? For all enemies, I guess that's fine. Okay, I guess if we're assuming no Cassius, we just have to lock in on the draw 2, unfortunately, right? If we assume no Cassius and probably no Ranger to go with them, then you're just kind of you're kind of stuck on this one. Obviously the AoE card is still going to be like you still want her signature mythic for sure. Yeah, I mean, just 2 fracture to all enemies. So this is actually 3 fracture, and then this one is going to be 4. So yeah, you have 7 fracture every turn, I guess. And then this one is always applying 3 as it, like, tries to scale up. Huh. I guess the advantage here, right, is that if you're doing, like, Calipe for some reason to trigger Celestial, the 2-cost attack card could be good. Because that way you're doing, like, a lot more AoE damage all at once. But I think we are still stuck on the, hey, get a little bit more fracture, get your damage up of your own attack cards a little bit. Yeah, I guess it really comes down to, actually, you know what? Did they have HP of the units in, I guess, did they show the HP of the units in the Great Rift preview? I don't know if I still have the patch notes open or not. I do not. Hold on. Because I mean we could test that reasonably. Oh gosh darn it. Nope, hold on. It's probably quicker if I just go into the Discord and go to like the announcements. Where is the CZN Discord? Server announcements. Nope, that's not the right one. Game announcements. That is patch. That is preview. Here we go. I think. Oh, dude, they have no health whatsoever. Okay. And how often do they respawn again? Continuously summons. Defeat the summon units while continuously dealing attack. Whenever a combatant attack card is activated, attack. Yeah, just by defeating whoever he does. Yeah, I don't know that we're actually going to be able to trigger tenacity. Like, I feel like they're just going to die to Hilde's fracture. If we can get the tenacity and get more AP, wonderful. Oh, that does look like sturdiness, though. You are right. Sturdiness or something. Maybe they'll be somewhat tanky. I mean, I think we're still in the same boat no matter what. Like, obviously, we want to have Fracture by default with Hilde, so, like, we're having AoE baked into her kit to begin with. And, yeah, it looks like it is just nuke this down. Or nuke down the ads, rather, and then hit the boss. Or, again, important to note, like, because survival's pretty goated, there might be a choice where we just completely ignore this mechanic and we just go survival 7. Which would be funny. And I don't think there's any other information in here, right? Oh, yeah, if there's only one enemy, you get 2 fracture instead of 1. I guess... I mean, that doesn't really... that still doesn't really change a lot, I guess. Like, again, the way that fracture powers down is going to make the consecutive hits feel very, very bad, unfortunately. So, again, all of this, tap the sign, subject to change. I think there's a lot of, you know, balancing that we're going to have to wait to see what the Great Rift has from a overall, like, defensive, baked-in mechanic. I'm sure we're not just going to be able to unga-bunga it, especially after the last seasonal boss. I guess it wasn't that bad, all things considered. It was just annoying. So this could also just be another very annoying Great Rift boss. But I do feel pretty confident that if you have Hilde, you should be able to just AoE them down pretty quickly. Or if you want to use something like Kalipe, you might be surprised that Kalipe can do a surprising amount of damage. While also giving you debuffs to count for Arabella. Because, right, vulnerable plus the agony, if you want to have agony vultures as well, will both count. Okay, so where does that... sorry, where did that leave us? That was the bottom left one? No, that was the top one. That's her unique. Bottom left is... Gosh darn it. I'm trying to open up this coffee candy and struggling really bad. 2 fracture, 2 vulnerable to all enemies, increased total attack cards. I mean, the 2 vulnerable to all enemies might actually be very relevant for her. Just know... Oh, it does have a cost of 1, though. Damn. What I was going to say is just knowing that she's going to be our only AoE unit in a lot of teams, and you're going to want to kill the ad, so getting that extra vulnerable can certainly be really helpful, right? To just make sure that you're killing those ads fast enough. Now, again, there'll probably be some other gimmick here that we have to watch out for, but I unfortunately do not have a mystical crystal ball that would otherwise get me more information about what to expect. I guess there's an assumption here that we're also just, like, running Mika, right? So, sure. And if we have Mika, we don't care about the AP cost, so... Or Typhera, to be fair. Typhera is also fine. Typhera prints infinite AP. Now, you know, I can overlap these because who cares about the text, right? I'm so dumb. No one can read this shit anyway. Well, I mean, at least I can't read this stuff anyways. So why not just cover it a little bit? That was... All right, so we just need the bottom right one then. Oh, right, but this one's not, right. So, again, we got to make sure that we're focused on the... Oh, shoot. If we're focused on the AoE one, we have to actually copy... This is going to be a split copy card. So what I mean by that is one of the Epiphanies, probably only going to need one. You're going to want to pick the draw 2, and one of the other ones, you're going to want to say, like, oh, we're actually copying, I don't know which other one we're copying, to be honest. I guess card 2? That doesn't even make sense either. We're copying something else, probably. Or wait, no, wasn't this one the AoE one? Yeah, hold on. Oh, right, because that's a skill card, not an attack card. I guess that does change things a little bit. Or sorry, it's down here. I mean, damn, honestly, you might just take the you might just take the upgrade for the sake of it. If we have to kill the ads one by one, I will crash out in real time. Because that's just knife in the salt in the wound, rather, right? Because you would introduce this mechanic where it's like, hey, they have tenacity bars, guys. We gave you tenacity bars back. Hey, let's talk Serenial? Serenial? Yeah, yeah. And then you're on your 20th laser, and then the boss just like one-shots you for some reason. I could see them doing that. They haven't announced anything yet, but I am still praying to high heaven that we're going to get a mid-season update. Yeah, I think this is going to be... Right? Like, I don't think she's ever applying enough fracture, like, that we're going to do a surprising amount of damage. Like, obviously, her Mythic is doing a lot of heavy lifting here for AoE damage, and maybe that's just good enough to kill the ads, but it's not really giving big AoE mommy vibes, right? Definitely leaving me with a little bit of wonder here. And then the single target's just like a random one of that is fine. Honestly, we're probably going to need more fracture, so I am actually just going to be like, hey, yo, give us more fracture. I guess you'd want to do something like this then. What was that, 4, right? Yeah, 4. And then, like, this becomes our target instead, but, like, 60 base damage, and then we're super reliant on Fracture giving us the rest of the... Ugh. What does Fracture start at, even? Hold on. I don't remember the scaling. Let's go look at that real quick. Okay, I guess, so 40, 80, 120, 180? Okay, so that's fine, actually. It's like 180 per hit. Or I guess it triggers 3. Deal damage, trigger 3 fractures, scale it down to 1, and then you trigger the 1 fracture by itself. I guess that's fine. That's just, like, not exciting. $40 plus 35% desire? Which desire? Arabella will release next Tuesday. Or I guess Wednesday morning for some people. I always forget because I work a 9 to 5 and then I pass out after work and I wake up at 8 p.m. and then I stay up until midnight the next day. It's rough. Fracture is one big hit. It's not like agony with multiple tick downs. Fracture is just a flat, big, chunky hit. Oh, if you're talking about the desire, if you're talking about like inquiry, sorry, for like the damage percentage increase. Yeah, that's definitely a consideration. I am almost confident that, you know, survival is just gonna unfortunately take the cake, but one of the things I do want to test is figuring out how much we can abuse the damage stacking to make fracture not suck. It's kind of where I'm at. Like, unfortunately, fracture is just not... It's not all that exciting from a numbers perspective. Like, you have to ramp up so much crit chance, crit damage, damage over time, attack, like all that stuff up just to get the equivalent damage to like one attack card from a normal combatant, right? So I think a lot of her damage is going to look better than what it is because it is so AoE focused. But I'm not sold on the numbers that I am currently seeing. And like, again, the big disclaimer I'm going to add here is that fracture kind of screws up a lot of this math. So I have to wait and see exactly how much damage fracture is going to be doing when we're triggering it multiple times in a turn and all that stuff. But definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. Other than, again, I think her just Cassius plus Arabella plus whoever multi-attack build is going to be fine, right? Unfortunately, I think it's still, you know, you kind of don't care about fracture, which means it's, you know, there's definitely a design error there, but I think it's very much you don't care about fracture and you just try to do as many attacks in a turn as possible with Cassius to do the normal morale multi-hit boost, you know, multi-hits are broken, you know, style of approach. We need to figure out how else we can scale fracture to be a little bit more giving. Well, Scorched is bad because it's based on enemies' actions and is very, very difficult to get value out of. And then Agony, you're just not able to... nothing in her kit is really screaming like, hey, we can get a lot of... Where is it? Right, the only Agony was this one, right? It was, yeah, this card and this one, I guess. But then you're only triggering the allies' Agony, which is kind of stupid. I hate it. Yeah, so I guess to your point, if you want to go like super duper dot man, then yeah, you're going to want to go for this last one. But Scorch has just been so underwhelming in Agony, because what Agony caps at 20, 418, or so 418, Jesus Christ. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 will be 5 stacks, ticks down to 10. Or sorry, no, because we can only copy it 4 times, right? So that'd be 16, 16 down to 8, up to 24, cap at 20, down to 10. So from the second turn on at 4 stacks, you're capping. Okay, hold on. Let's cope. Let's cope together really quick. I hate Scorch. We've been over this a lot, but I forgot that she can the main issue with Scorch currently is that the application of it is very limited on how you can sequence it, but she has the benefit of that you can always get value out of it because you can just open up your turn by using that card. So pure dot team Arabella build, right? So it'd have to be this card. Like, again, the Scorch tier is still kind of awkward, but I think that is the... You kind of just accept that as your fate. This doesn't even have a good... Because what? 1 cost attacks are more agony, but you don't need more agony? Yeah. I guess you just do decreased cost, right? Who has a 1 cost? So hold on, it's 1 cost and she's a striker. Damage is irrelevant. Tenacity, coordinated attack, always attack, agony. Again, funny, but we could have more agony. Draw 1. Ooh, draw 1 card. Sure. Decrease fortitude is hilarious, but not what we'd want. Apply combo. I wouldn't recommend it, but applying combo is awkwardly relevant because of how it interacts with Scorched. So, sure, man. But I don't think that's what we'd care about. Oops. Go back. So, what? This would be... Because each fracture is +1 fracture, right? So this is actually 3 fracture per 3 fracture per activation. So it's 12 fracture, 16 agony, 8 scorched. Like, dude, rework Scorch so that, like, it retains for a turn on the enemy or something. Just literal anything. And then there's a gear that goes with this as well, right? Okay, well, technically there's a few different gear options because you have pure debuffs, you have Scorched on the attack cards, which would also trigger, or you have this one, which is going to give you the Scorch at the start of the turn. So, like, there's a couple different ways to trigger this, but... and then, of course, obviously, the other one that you're not really going to want to use in this situation. So... what else are we using in our kit, though, I guess? Oh, what I just... oh, okay, I didn't open anything. So that was this one. I guess you want this skill because the damage increase would also boost all of her dot effects. Increase on damage when anyone in ally defeats an enemy. Oh, we don't care about that. Yeah, so I guess... we do this. Copy target. Now, again, this is like... Just to get that obligatory disclaimer out of the way, right? I mean, trigger own fracture on all enemies feels pretty good here. So at least you're getting a second. You would get 12 fracture and then a 6 fracture. Applies 2 fracture and 4 agony, but triggers all allies agony, which I don't think we actively want. Wait, trigger zone fracture on all enemies, trigger fracture. Oh, you know what? We're not going to have, like, we're probably not going to have a high value of morale, so this might be the one case where we just care about the... Whoop. We just care about having a big attack that's just going to pop everything. Yeah, I really do think Olga should have just been first. My tinfoil hat is that they're trying to rebalance Dot, like, mid-season. So that's why she got kind of pushed to the back, but we will wait and see. Triggers own fracture 2 times. Yeah, this 5-hit, dude. Like, I gotta figure out which one of these is more reasonable, but, like, I have to assume this is gonna be our best card just because of how strong morale is. Like, anytime you see something that's even, like, 60 times 4, you're like, all right, man. We gotta have Cassius. We gotta do the morale boosties. How much fracture did I say again? 12 fracture? Bro, we really just need a fracture. We need a fracture gear is what we need. If I can just be so real for a minute, right? Like, even trying to build this out, if we again think back to how much fracture that Hilde was able to get, and like it's really not a lot, right? It doesn't feel good. I don't think we can realistically make this work with just going all in on the dot damage. Oh yeah, hold on. What does her memory fragment set do again? I don't even remember. Is there anything there about like doubling stacks or something? Because that would be. It's on my like Rin, right? I think we were building it out. When fracture is applied through a card, plus 25% critical damage. When 10 or more fracture has been applied through cards, plus 15% critical damage to dots. So it's just a flat 40% crit. Jesus Christ, bro. She is going to be all caked up on crit. So you're getting like almost 100 crit between memory fragments and her ego dupes. Jesus. That was her E6 though, right? Yeah, E6 was the crit damage. This one was like just the overall increase, right? Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the extra fracture. So, sorry. She's actually getting... If you get her E2, you get plus 3 fracture instead of plus 1. But up to 5 times per turn. Man, not all of her builds care about multiple triggers though, right? Like... Or it happens at end of turn, and then, like, that doesn't matter either. That's... God, that's such a weird... Like, that's so... I was gonna say at least Heidi Mari's E2 works with all of her builds, but I guess technically she does have a build that doesn't care about discard, so that is a factually incorrect statement to make, but still, this one feels a little bit awkward on the wording. Not even the wording, like the trigger condition. I guess there is that one card that triggers multiple times, right? Which one was it again? Yeah, trigger own fracture twice for the multi-hit. Hey, Sue. Yeah, I got to look into the leaks because I didn't want to, again, I'm just gonna do one of these. But yeah, there is so unfortunately we were so again, shout out to Judge as always. He was doing some like the initial damage previews for her and like doing the calculations, and like he was basically calling her the next Yuki, and I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe I'll wait. You know, I want to wait till we're closer to it going live and all that stuff, but yeah, I'm not feeling great. I'm really not feeling great. I don't know what else to say other than I kind of hope things get improved. Cause like even with the idea of, hey, we have a bunch of multi-hit stuff, like, okay, we can just slap Cassius onto that and hope for the best, right? But then the conversation really should be like, okay, what does the rest of her kit look like? And yeah, you make the exact point. Like, we were just coping that wherever it's at, like her main one that gives you like extra fracture and damage, it's like, okay, this is effectively like 180% hit damage card, right? Yuki does 2 of these for the same amount of AP. And it's just like, what are we doing here, man? Like, I hate to say it, but I'm trying to like cope out on a couple different builds here, and all of these look like she's gonna do less damage than Yuki. Unless you go all in on the, I'm doing stupid Cassius stuff with like this bottom right card. But I'm getting so tired of like, oh, just put Cassius on every single team and it's fine. Yeah, that's kind of the other part where I'm at. It's like, I think it's very clear that we're in this weird limbo, right? Where the devs, again, however you want to call it, I'm just going to say folded because I don't agree with it, but the devs went back on their balancing changes, right? And we know that this season, before it went live, was designed with nerfs in mind. So now, especially with Nebula Distortion just being the biggest joke of a Nebula Distortion that we've had yet, that's largely just because of the balancing issue, right? But we're in this like really weird limbo of the devs trying to quickly rebalance everything mid-season to then make these characters kind of fit together. So I've said this multiple other areas, and I'm sure Sue will probably agree as well, but like, what I really fear is that we're going to take a couple seasons for the devs to have this like ebb and flow of balancing things out. But then by the time we get to season 6, again, because we have to figure out how many months out they are from working on seasons, by the time we get to season 6, there is just going to be a nasty HP inflation, you know, what we would call bullet sponges in other games that I play, that is going to impact CZN, because we finally have now caught up to the mistake of this season, right? Being not capping where a lot of the powerful effects were at. So I think we're going to just start to see this gradual creep of, oh God, what is happening in the season? But yeah, the long story short with Cassius, if I still have like, yeah, I still have this build up. So do I have the other image? No, I don't. Dang, I already deleted it from my video. Oh yeah, okay, I do have the other image. So the reason why, unfortunately, Cassius is so broken is because with basically him and anybody else, because of the survival buffs, you're actually able to get, on the left-hand side there, 20 morale, 14 resolve, 6 fortitude, and if you have either Mika or Typhera, you can also just shit out a bunch of action points or energy per turn. So it creates this really awkward loop now that we have just these characters that are going to power creep everything else in the game because of how much value Cassius can provide over quite literally every other character in the game. And it's not just the buffs that he can provide. He also has extremely relevant debuffs for enemies if you get him up to his E4. It's E4 or E6, I always forget. And then on top of that, because of his quest called Full House, he's also giving you baked in card advantage. So it for me personally, again, always talking about this from like a card gamer perspective, but like whenever people talk and showcase a tier list and they don't have Cassius in his own tier on top of everything else, I'm sorry, I just do not take your tier list seriously. Like, until Cassius is addressed, it is going to fundamentally warp this game until eventually the band-aid gets pulled off. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to fix that otherwise, because we had the fix and everybody complained. So now, unfortunately, we're just kind of staring down the Cassius gun until we don't get a multi-hit character, until they just shill characters like 9 non-stop. So we'll see. Like, again, I put my disclaimer in other videos, but like, I think if you take away his Full House, it is immediately a different conversation. 111 is still very good, but then you don't have the, oh, I play my entire kit for free, plus have 3 free draw, plus give you all the best buffs in the game, plus give you all the best debuffs in the game, all in one character. So again, if the devs won't address the morale issue, I think at a minimum, by the end of this season, we're gonna see Full House get nerfed to shit. I will just call that now, because that is the only other relevant nerf that you can do to him. Which is, again, funny because that would be the 4th Cassius nerf, if I remember correctly, and Cassius is still the best character in the game. Like, it's just frustrating. So, again, I have my giant disclaimer up that I have to keep pointing to because Smilegate wants us to always have such a big disclaimer on our, or I guess if you're on the vertical stream, it's down there. All my disclaimers here. Unfortunately, Arabella is looking Yuki tier, is kind of where I'm at with her kit. Oh yeah, dude, if Joker was still 0 cost on top of everything else, Jesus Christ. That's fair. He has always been best. Yeah. Again, I gotta say, full disclaimer, again, I am newer to the gacha space. I don't know what is standard kind of across the industry, what other companies might be doing. I mostly just stay in my lane and I talk about upcoming games I'm excited about, like Brave Frontier, for example, but like, I don't go deal with like the Genshin and the Wuwa and all that stuff, right? Like, I play Grand Blue Fantasy and I play this. That's about it. So I do know at least that there are test servers that are a thing for Genshin. Like, I know at a minimum, but like, I don't know how much is like creator feedback versus just for, getting content for videos. Enfield, if I remember correctly, doesn't have one at all because of all like, this is obviously sarcasm. I'm gonna like make my disclaimer here, but they basically sent hitmen after people in China for leaks on Enfield. So like, they're very serious about, no leaks, no test server, nobody can have anything, right? So there's obviously different areas of gray in terms of like what's been allowed by companies, but at least for CZN, the game that I can cover, the game that I can speak to, yes, I do feel like we would be in a better spot with the game if we were able to actually test stuff out, or at a minimum, test for bugs, because there's always bugs every single season by a significant amount. So, Cassius had Joker change. He had quest completion change. What were the other ones? Morale cap, obviously, right? Morale cap at 20 now is also changed, so that's 3. I forget the fourth, or it might only be 3. But they have changed it. Oh, 000. There you go. Got it. I got it. Nobody helped me. I got it before chat said anything. 000 was nerfed. That was the 4th nerf. And so this would be the 5th nerf, actually, then, for Cassius. So, a lot. Just a lot, man. They must really regret making Cassius. Well, the thing is, like, we gotta get a 5-star Cassius eventually, right? I don't know what that's gonna look like, but... Eventually, we gotta get a 5-star Cassius, man. Maybe that's what Euphemia was supposed to be, and that's why she's, like, banished to the Shadow Realm. Oh, wait, we need one more card for this, right? Wait, that's all damage dealt. Trigger fracture. Which card am I missing? Oh, we're missing this one. Trigger all allies fracture does not help us. Trigger fracture 2 times also does not help us. And that just gives us 4 more fracture. We have no way that we're bursting fracture, right? Oh, we do have okay, so we can build up fracture and just like let this be our finisher. So it would be, I guess, this one. Because this would give us 20 fracture in a turn then, I guess. And then this pops it all for 1. So I guess it would be 20... Or no, this would be +5, right? I get, so this is... never mind. Let me think about E0. E0 is just +1. E2 is +3. We're counting for E0. So this is 12 fracture. 14, 15 fracture. 20 fracture until that's just not. Man, I don't know how you. The damage just feels so low for every side of this. Now, again, I want to add the disclaimer. I have to imagine Olga is going to make this be a little bit better, but you're kind of like just not excited by any of these, even if you do try running like the extra Scorch Mythic, right? Like that's the other thing I'm salty about, man, right? Like Scorch is just still not good. Like I guess all the enemies are going to be ticking down. So like you cast one of these, one of the Scorch get consumed automatically, right? So like I guess we just have to assume that we're like all in on this shit. So it'd be like this, and then it's like the bug, oh, where is it? Oh, it's not even tied to this one. There's like the on-hit get agony build, right? Or the, is it Swarm? I talked about this item, oops. When we did our Tressa Season 2 video, because it was actually like really good for agony. There you go. I remembered. This was actually a really relevant accessory because on multi-hit enemies, like, it just maxes out their agony super fast. But again, like, we've seen time and time again that this is just, like, not that impressive damage-wise. And this means that we're also going to have to be in Inquiry, which means we want to use... this one. Where is... No, not that one. Weaken, vulnerable, or agony. Oh, I guess it just still gives... Oh, no, sorry. Inquiry is the draw, not the... Sorry, claim. Claim is what I'm thinking of. Oh, yeah, I guess she would just use Sever Ties anyway still. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, we're just never getting away from this, right? But the important part here is that it increases dot amount by 35%, and we get a little bit morale, so yay. But even if we factor in, like, right, so we have a 35% amp here, we have like 120 wherever it's at. We have basically 6 extra morale here. Sure, man, like, agony is going to be increased by morale. Like, morale is going to increase all the damage that we're doing, but it's just not... The values here just do not inspire confidence in her being good. Yeah, exactly. Like, Scorch, there's so many things wrong with it. I think it's one of those things where, like, it's a cool idea in theory because you want to find a way to, like, stack up extra damage before the enemy acts to try to kill them, right? But then you very quickly realize that there's going to be more often the ability is just going to be dead or do absolutely nothing. And then you're like, oh, why am I using this to begin with? So it'd be really cool if Scorch could actually have like some other type of like payoff or some other gimmick to trigger it, to use it, to whatever. But the fact that it's 1 stacks at 10 and 2 falls off at the end of the turn and does nothing feels pretty bad. I do need to run my chaos delegations though. Make sure I did not miss anything else. Yeah, I guess at this point we just again, I think we're closer to something like this. I think we are going to care about the extra AP for her builds just to be safe. I think we, you know, obviously we still want oh, that's what I forgot. We need to what am I building for her desire cards? That's what I forgot to plan out. Well, obviously it's Sever Ties. Oh, she could just do, because, right, it's going to be 5 survival, 3 claim, so she could just do claim 3 and you're done. So your other 2 characters have more flexibility in how you want to build out their cards. Because we'd have to do 1, or no, because like a 1-2 split wouldn't work. Never mind, hold on. Claim 3 does not work because we'd want to have 1 survival so the other card can be more flexible. Am I being dumb about this? Hold on. I have messed this up like multiple times on stream at this point, so let me just think about sure. There's this again as my reference. I am just too lazy, so I'm going to screenshot this. Our last card is... I mean, I guess our last card is just anything, right? Doesn't really matter. So I guess we'd want to do 2-1 splits on each. Could be 2, or no, because that'd only be 3 survival then. It'd have to be 1 survival. Or I guess if we make it 3 survival, the last one's just a 2-1 split then, right? It'd be 2 and then 1 into claim. So you would need to have... This one is just always going to be 3C anyways. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hilde just always having a 3 is fine, and then this one is just going to be a 2x. I guess you just let your flex spot, if you're waiting to figure out who the last character is going to be. That's fine. Or, sorry, 2S, 1x. That's fine. Okay, let's do some chaos delegations. And I can get rid of my disclaimers really quick now that we're done talking about spoilers. Do that, do that. Yes, I still need to go through the story. I know. Actually, how are we doing on time? Oh, Jesus. Wait, really? Already? Your boy do love theory crafting. Actually, on that note, so hey, we've been streaming for a while, so this is gonna be your water check. If you haven't already, take care of yourself. Hydrate. Grab some coffee, grab some tea, whatever your beverage of choice might be if you've already drank water. If not, have you drank your water today? Go do it if you haven't. I'm gonna go take care of my coffee cup really quick, grab some water. We'll do some Hilde runs of just our chaos delegations, see what other like random daily stuff we have to do. And then probably end a little bit early because if you missed my crash out, if you missed my crash out at the beginning of the stream, I had to wake up early this morning for a bullshit call with Europe, so I am a little tired, I will be honest. So I'll go grab some water real quick. Don't go anywhere. When I come back, we'll be doing those Hilde runs. See you soon. Oh shit, hey Vocals, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Also, I just realized, do we have anyone? Scorch also is a per character stack, right? So like, if we really want to try to cope out here, we could get the mythic chest on every character to try to like triple stack Scorch to trigger. Like I am just trying to, you know, picture how do we get like just the super dot team, right? But I've never been in a situation where I've gotten double stacked Scorch to be relevant, but I think we do want to try to have a Fracture Hilde save that does go the distance with the mythic chest as a... Actually, do we have one already? Hold on, we might actually have one of those. I need the satisfaction of seeing a shit ton of dots trigger and going sicko mode. Oh, we do actually. I guess I could just clean it. I guess that's fair. Oh, nope. It has the wrong card. Oh, right. This was the wrong one, too. I mean, that's editable, I guess, right? Like, that's something. I feel like we could do a little bit better, though. I guess this could also be the Agony instead of Scorch. Like, if we're activating all these, or I guess it's only 4 Scorch max, so you would want extra stacks. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not crazy. What other trinkets do we have from this season? I think that's probably still the best one if we're going all in on the dot package, right? Because then you're getting Scorched at the start of the turn. That's just vulnerable. We have the blue weapon that gives Scorched. Okay, yeah, whatever. I think we lock this for now. Wait, no, because again, we want survival claim. So no matter what, we have to redo this for. Oh, that super bums me out that we actually have the chest piece. We have to redo this anyways because the desire card. All right, well, as we like to say, the nightmare is ongoing. I guess we'll just give it a little bit of a re-roll shenanigans. Not like we're gonna get a divine, but, you know. Your boy can still hope for a 15. Damn. Am I on... No, it is 8. There we go. Just in case we high roll into something. None of those, so free removal, please and thank you. See how lucky we can get with a couple of runs. Also, vocals, if you can, help a brother out and find a buyer for that Soraka card for me. Oh man, I am stressing to find a buyer for that as soon as it comes back, but you know we will see what happens. Or it would be really nice if we actually had like some other opportunity pop up that would help pay for that trip, but man, trying to go to Tokyo Game Show is rough to say the least. We don't even need... I mean, I guess we'll just take the money, it's fine. I appreciate it. I think I am going to be a little bit of a SOL just because it is a 9.5, but like it's a very, very solid 9.5. No, he said triple, hold on. I'm getting the two builds confused again. Hold on. I was thinking of our generic morale build, but if we're strictly focused on the dot one, that is claim 5, right? So it'd be claim 5. I really wish I could pull this up mid-run. Where's my information? Claim 5. Yeah, claim 5, inquiry 3. Oh, wait, so that was the right card then. Hold on. So the dot-based build is 5 claim, inquiry 3, which is what that survival card already was. So now we need a separate build that is going to be normal damage, 5 survival, 3 claim. Okay, so yes, we are looking for a 3 survival driven hunt, and I will edit the data for the other one. That probably makes more sense. I know that some people are like gushing over the fact that you're gonna have so much free crit with the control buffs, knowing that we're gonna have, you know, 5 enemies, but The rest of Control is unfortunately just such garbage that it does not feel worth trying to make that happen. Again, the obligatory disclaimer that I will make is that I am half anticipating that we're going to see some type of balance update or new cards or something. I hope and pray we'll see something with Arabella's launch that will kind of put the season a little bit more, you know, put together, as it were. But maybe I'm just on that big old copium. Who knows? Okay. Wait, isn't that what, hold on. Where's my cheat sheet? That's the one that we wanted, right? Oh, no, we were doing Plasma Rain, right? We swapped this one. Okay, if we swap this one, then Draw and Release we could swap out instead. Three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess she does have a lot of draw. No, yeah, we're gonna stick to our guns on this one. The pink charm cards? I don't know what you're referencing. There's a good chance that I am forgetting about something then. No, I just said 3 survival. I need to... Oh, you can tell it's been a long day. 3 survival, 3 survival, 3 survival, 3 survival. We need 3 survival. I will not forget. We are only trying to build 3 survival this run. Do not be tempted. I mean, yeah, it definitely feels like, you know, Control was made for her. And again, not to downplay, the extra 20% crit or whatever you get is certainly good. But overall, I'm not sure that it's something that I want to... One, I don't want to refarm everything for, you know, arguably most importantly, but it just doesn't feel worth it to give up on the other stuff. Again, Brett, very tempted for the Agony just to go all in on the meme build here, but we don't have a discard. No, there's no discard. It's something in the Chaos lore notes about a missing pink charm. It talks about all the other colors, but have question marks for charm and says it's pink. Okay, well that might be something cool then. I'm sure. Any amount of Scorch we can get, right? Again, we're always going to want second method, but... Also, this one's hilarious because it's, for whatever reason, they decide to give this fixed damage. Like, come on, man. I mean, that's tempting just because it's an AP, but it's not. It's not what we need. We need cards that actually draw and not just put us neutral. All right, place your bets if we're gonna get a survival 3 or not this run, I guess. This is also why I do not recommend trying to get survival 3 on anything. Okay, thank you. Hell of a generational run here. I mean, I guess we could have taken RFS there just to be a upgrade, but this is like the most blessed run I have ever seen. If we get the mythic chest piece as well, man, holy shit. Oh, agony. Okay. No, we want the we want the draw too. So at least we got the right epiphany here. We're not re-rolling for anything else, right? We're good. We just gotta remove a card. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. I think we're good actually. Wow, that was pretty lucky, all things considered. I guess we should just wait to remove the last card, just to see what other events we might get, but you know what? I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm just gonna buy it now. That's fine. That's fine. Nice, and we get our divine copy. Well, there you go. It's a good thing that we waited for the tier 15 to reroll, so we have the maximum amount of points. Great. I tell you what, it'd be great if we can get this in one and done, and be fine with it. I don't really have a second Caban that I want to build out right now, I guess, but I could go try to fix my Cassius build, I guess. That is something. Oh, you know what I totally forgot? I got so distracted by all that. Oh, there's like a bingo event going on for Grand Blue Fantasy, long story short. And so like there's these daily crystals that are ticking down, and now that Japan is awake, we should be at the end of our... Oh, we are. Where is my... Oops, I'm on the wrong scene. Let me grab this really quick. We'll tap this. Oh, gosh darn it. I didn't get to see the animation because I messed up. No, I didn't get to see the chest animation. All right, well, I can go check my bingo cards now. Wait, did we not get extra ball drops? Wow, bro. They really said... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I got screwed. I can't even bingo. All right. Damn, bro. All right, hopefully one of these is the sand to make up for it. Earrings, no. No, I don't care about artifacts, man. All right. We did not get anything good. There goes our big... So again, they gave us a lot of free currency for pulls and whatnot. So that was obviously the bigger takeaway from our summer event, but it was like 5 free pulls a day. So these lasted, what, 5 days? So it was like 50 free pulls that we got, probably. And if you high rolled during the event, you got more, whatever, but... Let me just close that, put that off to the side really quick. I will restart that, and... Sorry, try and put this off to the side now so I can actually start a forbidden raid. And click, 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 click. And okay, good. Hey, Wolf. Oh, appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for dropping on by. Yeah, it's I'm East Coast, so it's very much later in the evening for me, all things considered. But we just talked about the Arabella kit. some initial first impressions. You know, I added all my disclaimers, but now trying to put together an extra Hilde build for what we're aiming for here. Which one's that one again? That's, yeah, it's a weakened one. We don't need that. So if you scroll back in the video, you'll see the exact build that I'm trying to work on with Hilde, to go with Arabella, but we really need to wait to see what her full kit, confirmed kit is going to look like. Because the early preview of her kit, definitely leaves a bit to be desired. Wait, we re-rolled everything, right? I'm not crazy? Oh, Big Game Ranger needs to be upgraded still. That's fine. Sometimes you just want to believe that you can win the 10% chance, right? I guess we even have a roll modifier. Okay. I'm just gonna crash out on all these attempts. I thought this was a regular Divine event. I forgot. My bad. I think this actually bricks what we want. So let's do one of those, I guess. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get our desire card here anyways. I think we're kind of cooked on that part. Oh, right, we skipped it, so we can't even re-roll it. Ah, idiot. I should have, Oh, dude, I forgot about quick shelling. I literally just said how we need quick shelling, too. As we were building that out. That's the other thing that, like, I often forgot, because you want to try to get it, like, after your first copy, but before you go... Ugh, this is looking rough. You want to get it after the first copy, before the first half of the second floor, because it's a, you know, rare card, so it has less chance of appearing. Okay, let's just try to pick it this way. I mean, precision... Can precision aim get an AP? I mean, it's not really what you want, because you want draw neutral or draw positive stuff to cycle, where this puts a card back on top. So I don't think that's what we want, unfortunately. I might have goofed up this run because there's honestly just too many things to remember. I think this is looking very not great for us, though. Sure, just get out of the pool. Oh, it's the extra hit one. Oh my god, look for the card. I keep forgetting the neutral, man. Arabella is definitely looking not so great, at least for quick impressions. But Hilde is just a great character for a lot of teams by comparison. So I think you're in a pretty good spot as long as you have her. All right, well, we got all of our copies of that done. We just need to actually get our basic card. Oh, dude, no, we failed hard. We're on survival 1, bro. We're screwed. I just realized how close we were to the boss. All right, it's cooked. It is a cooked run. I might as well keep my tier 15. So that's so sad, dude. We even got the divine, the copies and stuff, but that's so BM. I don't even want to look at that shit later. That's gonna bother me. All right, well, let's do another run real quick. This is exactly why I bought the, you know, $5 monthly pass to try to increase our overall odds, and you know, because man, I'm at the point now where I've just like done so many random builds and whatnot. Like, I would rather Chaos Delegation, and then if I have extra, if I have extra time, I just want to go play Sortie. I don't want to do Chaos farming, man. I have done my time with the Chaos resets, you know, in Season 1. I guess it's random, but whatever. I mean, it's not the draw 2, but it's still a divine cost reduction, so sure. Saves us some amount of resources, so hey, we'll take it, right? Grand homing, and the other one's not important, unfortunately. Well, it's hard to know, like, where that's going to land, but we'll have to wait and see what the community's overall response is. All right. What do we need? I mean, shoot, I'm motivated to try to find her neutral card early and just win the lotto on this is early for removal. Never mind. We're gonna have a chance to fix it. We do need to meditate though for the arrow. Also, just doing like a draw 1 AP cost reduction split is pretty funny, but you know, now we need our debuffs. We need our fractures here. Grab some goodies. Thank you. Don't want any of that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, hey, we're gonna hopefully get more than one survival event this time. Surely this will work out. Let me close out of these really quick. Okay. We are doing this is the survival 3 one, right? Yeah. Because I'll spend the black mass to fix the dot base team, but I still need a survival 5 team for like what will probably be the real build. Unfortunately, we have to actually build these out to test them. You know, we gotta get lucky putting these together. I guess there's also something to say that, like, you just don't, you know, you test how much damage they do without the desire buffs, but I can't imagine a world where the all-in dot teams are relevant before Olga anyway, so at least it'll give us some type of direction. Definitely want to make sure our main person gets all of her epiphanies, please and thank. All right, it really wants us to have that flashbang, man. All right, part 1 of Driven Hunt, so we just need to see 2 more survival events, and we should be good, hopefully. You know what? Fine. You can have the blue egg. Congrats on your blue egg, Mika. There we go. Was slightly off on where I was pressing buttons. Sure, let Whirlpool do all the damage. Congratulations, DPS Mika. It is time for her to shine. You know what? Fine, I'll do this event. No, still can't, okay. I'll forgive you if you give me the Cthulhu gun and the mythic chest, the Cthulhu gun or mythic chest in a run. Never there, man. And again, it's not like the bug heart that you can get at the end is bad per se, but I'd rather have ones that go a little bit, you know, either the stronger attack version or the one that tries to play into the build gimmick that we're doing. But again, I can't see Scorch being the right answer long term. But we'll build it. We'll have some funsies with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll try. All we can do is try. Doesn't hurt. Wait, did we, oops, clicked on my, out of it. Did I actually, no, okay, we still have to fix the arrow. We gotta really pray we fix the, oh, did I just clicked on the wrong thing, man. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, I have not done, I have not bothered with full-scale offensive, if I'm being perfectly honest. I've been really bad at keeping up with that. Oh, this means I'm gonna have to re-roll 2 now. Alright, I mean... we'll see what happens with this, I guess. Well, the thing is, like, and again, unfortunately, it's just something around, like, the creator program in general, is that, like, I'm not really motivated by any of the rewards that the full-scale offensive put together, and it would require me to actually have 3 complete teams. Which itself is kind of a pain point, if I'm being honest. Okay, no, we do not need a random, don't need a random divine or anything here, actually. Actually, what am I doing? We have to look to see how many re-rolls we're getting. 2? Nope, we're done. Okay. Obviously I might have bricked that run there a little bit, because I'm misclicking, but that is a quit out anyways. Alright, I mean, we'll try again tomorrow, you know, on lunch or something to finish this. Yeah, my issue is like my memory fragments are just so scuffed beyond belief. Like that's the other part. But yeah, for those that missed it earlier, as just kind of a closing note here, let me and let me go grab there we go. I just want to make sure that both sides of the streams can see it. And then I want to open this up. Okay, so we gave all of our first impressions and all that stuff, but at least for where we're at with her kit, there is definitely a little bit of hopium on that these are not final damage numbers, and we're going to see, you know, some changes because, again, keep in mind, I'm not going to click to pull up my disclaimer again, but do not take what is on Reddit as gospel as like the final builds and all that stuff, because these are early previews. I would not expect them, you know, we've seen every time that we've gotten a dev stream that something in the kit has changed. So I would just have to assume that at some level of Arabella's current kit, we're going to see either damage number tweaks or cost tweaks or something. And it might not seem like it, but even if they do a small adjustment like reducing a cost or maybe buffing up one part of a damage of one epiphany, that could have a significant impact on how we want to focus on building her. So, excuse me, I wouldn't focus too much on how you're building her out yet. However, I think the two builds that I have here for both Cassius and Hilde as a generic rule of thumb is good enough to build out. Either for Arabella or are just good builds to have in this season. I actually just did a full dedicated video on the Survival 7 build, which if you are a newer player and you're struggling with Tower, I would very much recommend checking out that video because, again, assuming you have Cassius, I did actually put 4 different builds in there, but as long as you have Cassius and Mika, if you take Survival 7, you will just fully steamroll the tower and not have any issues with it. The Desire 7 card is very, very good, but only for the tower. It does kind of fall off significantly just about everywhere else, unfortunately. So the short answer is yes. We've talked about this previously by request of a lot of people in the Discord. Probably starting with the next wave of it, I am going to do like a video series of like, hey, here's the 3 teams I used to full clear full scale offensive, right? Or something of that nature. Now, the problem is I don't anticipate that video to get a lot of views, and I'm in this awkward spot of where I am trying to grow the grow the channel and get more views on videos to hopefully get sponsorships so I can reinvest all of that money into the channel. And unfortunately, any time that you get a video that is under 5K views for any topic, it's basically a ding against your account. Very, very, very long story short. Now, the good news is I kind of plan my content around that otherwise and just try to focus on like larger topics. And also, just as a general statement, I've tried to do videos on like Mary Bell or characters that got buffed and, you know, how seasonal changes might impact things like Tressa. I've tried to do all that type of content in the past as well, and I've quickly learned that in the gacha space, people just don't care about older characters or older events that might be making a rerun. So I am going to try to do a couple of videos on Full Scale Offensive as just like as they come up sort of thing. And I'm going to try to do like a more structured video, kind of like I did for my last one where I went into like the actual builds, or like this one, I guess is probably a better example. I had a video that talked about all this stuff for the Desire cards. So this is, again, I also want to do content that I personally enjoy. I don't like doing videos just to make videos. So that, I think that's more of an important thing that I need to acknowledge. I just say that so much on this channel. I forget that people who are newer might not always catch that, but like, I don't like doing videos just to do videos. I like to have more structured, informal videos like this one when I can. So hopefully with the update for Full Scale Offensive, with the new bosses, I'm going to structure it in a way that will hopefully be more focused on probably like what I'm thinking at least is doing more like 4 to 5 minute segments on each boss and not doing like the full, 20-minute run per boss. And it's obviously not 20 minutes. You know what I mean, though. Not doing the full run per boss and just being like, hey, here's a team, here's a strategy, here's what you need to know, right? So I'm still trying to think about how I want to do that video in the background, but that's what you can expect going forward. And if the video does well, great. I will definitely do more of them in the future. If it doesn't do well, if people don't care to see it, then I will try to find something else that is a little bit more, geared towards newer players and or people who are looking into Chaos Zero Nightmare. So we'll see. Longer rant, but again, I work a full-time salary job, so I just try to be very transparent about it. Again, as an example, I have been up since 6 this morning, so I've been up almost 18 hours at this point. And again, outside of like literally food that I, the small dinner break that I had, I've basically been working for the last 18 hours at this point. Obviously there's like, 2-ish hours of not working time in there, but you get the idea. Very long days if you try to make all this work. But I enjoy making content like this. I enjoy doing the more infographic side of things, and I do think that there is a larger need for it in the YouTube space. So that's where I try to, help support it where I can, but we'll see. Anyways, long rant aside there. Again, I appreciate everybody joining here tonight for another round of CZN. As a reminder, tomorrow I'm going to be going to locals and stuff, but Saturday we will be diving, or is it Sunday? Sorry, as I was about to say that, I just reminded myself that it is patch week coming up. So what I normally do on the patch or the weekend before a patch, I usually try to do like all my cleaning to-do list stuff, because generally I stay up again for like 24 hours straight on Tuesday for the new character, assuming that there's not going to be maintenance, knock on wood. And then it's basically just like 3 days back to back of work, content, sleep. And so it's really hard to find time to like meal prep or cook dinner and all that stuff. So I try to do all that on the weekend. So there might be a stream. We'll figure out. You know what? We might go check out the My Hero game this weekend, because I have been wanting to check out the Vampire Survivors clone. Maybe it's good, maybe it's terrible. We'll see. But oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, where is my post? For those that are not on Twitter or on where is my post? For those that are not on, do not see YouTube posts or on Twitter. Oh my God, where's my image? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Animo got confirmed for September 15th. For those of us in the States, it looks like it's actually going to be a September 16th launch, just because of time zone shenanigans. I did not get a chance to play the beta of this game, but I heard a lot of positive things about it. Basically, open world Pokemon, very, very long story short, but you can also transform into the creatures that you collect. So it'll be interesting. Again, I am personally more excited for Honkai Nexus Anima, because I like the more TFT and the more strategy side of like the animal collector or, monster collector style of gacha theme that has been popping up. But we will see where that lands. Again, technically not sponsored or anything like that, but I just like to check out new games as they come out. So we'll see where they land. But that is going to do it for tonight, my friends. So if you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It does help out a ton. If you're following us on Twitch, hit the follow button, all that good stuff to not make sure you don't miss out on the latest gacha news or chaos builds as we do showcase them. And like tonight, we do a lot of theory crafting live on stream. That doesn't always make it to a video, but we will likely do a similar video topic in the future once things are more concrete. But if you want to see some of it live, of course, making sure you're staying up to date on all these infographics definitely does help. But that's going to do it for myself. So as another reminder, go drink your water. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful Friday. And if I miss you over this weekend, have a great weekend as well. But otherwise, we have Arabella to look forward to on Tuesday, which, of course, we'll be doing our overnight stream. And whatever else we find between now and then, hopefully a little bit more time to stream and dive into Chaos Zero Nightmare or other games. So until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.